All right, here we go. The mighty return of Daylyt back on Vlad TV. No Bradley, unfortunately, but you know what I'm saying? I guess he's sick right now.
Yeah, he's sick. He got cancer, stage 4.
Stage 4 skin cancer.
Stage 4 skin cancer.
He's so light-skinned, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Melanoma.
Man, welcome back, man. It's
Yes,
been
sir.
some years. A lot of stuff has happened since last time. We're going to talk about all that. But I realized that during all our interviews, we never really got your whole story from the beginning because you're always coming in character and, you know.
You don't really get to meet the me.
Yeah.
Today, we go to me.
We're going to meet the real Daylyt.
All right.
So, born and raised in Cali.
Yes, sir.
What part?
Watts, California.
Watts, California. What was Watts like in the 80s and 90s?
I would say, as far as I can remember, like late 80s, it was fun, you know, normal, typical urban community. Then like early 90s, like when gangbanging music hit, it got spooky. Got real spooky. Like, so, you know, typical any urban hood, yellow tape, candles, crying, you know, that life.
Family. Both parents, one parent?
I actually had both parents coming up. And then my dad fell victim to drugs.
Oh, no.
So,
well, how old were you when that happened?
I was like, maybe like 5.
Okay, so you remember maybe a
like
little
5,
bit,
6,
but
yeah,
not.
5, 6. Like, I remember all of it. Like,
You remember all of it?
I remember all of it. Like, I remember, you know, just him not coming home for nights. You know, certain items in the house are disappearing. You know, going to school, seeing my pops on the ground and shit like that. So, it was pretty rough coming up.
This was crack, I assume?
Yeah, this was crack era for sure. Crack.
Yeah,
era.
when you talk about that type of.
Yeah, it was most definitely crack era.
Okay.
But one of the best parts about that era is that I learned something about myself and what type of bloodline I carry, and also like how strong my father is. Because one day my father just got off the ground and came back home.
Really?
Yeah, just like decided to not be a crackhead no more and just came home. Like one day I seen him on the ground, and like the next day he was in the kitchen cooking, and he was back to normal. So just make a long story short, my pops told me that when he first started smoking crack, he didn't become homeless because he was a crackhead. Like he was like the shit opened his mind up to like alternate realities and all type of shit. So I figure he probably was just laying on the ground, but in the Doctor Strange multiverse somewhere out here. So.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed Ernest Lee Thomas. He played Raj on What's Happening. And he was hooked on crack for years and years. And then just one night, he was in a motel somewhere downtown, and he just said, "That's it.
Yeah,
I'm done with it."
Pops did. Yeah, he just
and that was like 30 years ago. And since then, he's never touched it.
So I asked someone, can you tell me how to get back to 888 8th Avenue? That's where I was living. And that's when I fell down, and when I got I was staying with these friends who weren't there, and I got on my knees and I said, Lord, you know, even as I speak to you, I want some, you know, I want the freebase, I want all of it, but I know I'm gonna die if you don't intervene and take this away from me, you know. And 30 years later, you know, and I admire people in AA and CA, but for me, it was Jesus Christ. He took it, and I have not looked back since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for 30 years, you've been clean and sober.
30 years.
Amazing.
I think my pop was like, you know what? Back to reality. Like, I'm done. Whatever world he was in, he was done, and he's back to reality. Yeah.
And then he came back
home.
So he still was living in the
house?
No,
he came back home. Him and my mom tried to rekindle, but it, you know, was...
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened in between that time. So then, you know, I had a stepfather and all that shit, whatever came up. But typical black life.
Siblings?
Yeah, I got six brothers and sisters.
6 brothers and sisters. Same parents?
Different parents, but we all lived in the same house.
Okay, so you're living in Watts. Yeah. Five other siblings, and the dad is sort of, well, at one point the dad is out of the house.
Out of the house.
So your mom was struggling.
Pretty much, yeah, 100%. Like,
okay.
My struggle was a little different from you know, a lot of people in my community, and you know, you had people from the projects, you had, you know, whatever, but like we was broke. Like I wore Payless to the 12th grade, like actual Payless shoes to the 12th grade.
Yeah.
So, you know, the struggle was real. The hand-me-downs, Goodwill clothing, it was real. It's very real.
Okay, and in Watts, the biggest gang is Grape Street.
It would be the Grape Streets and the Bounty Hunters.
Okay.
Like, those are like two of the like powerhouses of Watts.
Okay. The Grape Streets are Crips.
Yeah.
Bounty Hunters are Bloods. Was there always a tension between the two, or they kind of got along?
It's crazy because when we grew up, you know, the OGs pretty much told us it was war. Like so we grew up thinking it was always war. But as I got older and I started to dig and research, actually the whole Watts was unified at one point in time. It was like one big gang called the Green Jackets, like a whole big gang.
The Green Jackets? I haven't heard of that.
It's Green Jackets. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a big gang. Everybody was part of just one big gang. Like all the projects were one.
Huh.
And I don't know what happened. I'm not really sure what split. I don't know the full history on what separated everything, but a split happened. But it still wasn't beef. Like Bloods and Crips wasn't beefing. Like they was just like, hey, we over here, we over here. But but we're still friends. And even to this day, our OGs are still friends. Like they OGs come over here and the OGs come over here. Like to this day, it's just the younger people that think that it's war. And I think that got indoctrinated through just hip hop, music, you know, smaller territorial, low resources, you know, all type of just urban tactics that are put in place to make sure we destroy ourselves.
Right, because Top, who runs TDE, was one of the heads of the Bounty Hunters.
Yeah, he's most definitely.
Did you know him at all growing up?
Growing up, no, I didn't know him, but I heard.
You heard about him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I think like how Watts works, if you grew up on this side, you hear about stories like it's like Michael Myers and all them. You hear about the stories like haunted stories, like so and so from over there slayed 3,000 people. Like you hear mass
with one bullet.
Yeah, like you hear like what are folklore and all type of legends and myth. Like that's
and ricocheted, hit everybody.
Yeah, like yo, so and so. It was one time he had a shootout and he was diving on the ground and it was in slow mo and he rolled behind a car. Like man, this. Nothing worse than the hood story. Let me tell you how it goes. Hey, so look, so boom, bam, right? So boom, the nigga.
That's how it starts. Right?
That's how it starts. So look, bam, right? So boom, the nigga was on the car, right? Boom, he rolled down, bam, boom, pow, whoop, bam. Like man, the hood story is
like
a movie,
Vlad
bro.
TV Soldier Boy story. Pretty much.
I swear, hood stories are they're movies. They're blatant movies. Like every hood nigga is a level 10 improv. Every hood nigga level 10 improv, like 100%.
Okay, you end up getting associated with the Grape Street Crips.
Yeah.
What age?
I don't even think it was an age. I think like how Watts work, wherever you born, like we got the train tracks, right? If you born on that side of the tracks, you from over there. If you born on that side of the track, you from over there. So
okay.
It's not really you pick an age. Like it's like that's where you at. That's where you at. Like,
okay. So you don't even remember what year you were.
No, it's not a year.
You just have always been
it's
part
just
of it.
There.
Got it.
Right? Like for example, like you're Jewish, right?
Yeah.
So you can't be like, I can't be like, what year did you become Jewish?
Yeah, I was
like,
just born into it. Yeah.
You were in there. Like,
yeah.
So that's kind of how it was. Like we were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's an actual Grape Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there like a story behind the Grape Street Crips and how they formed together and who the founders were and so forth?
I'm going to be honest, man. I really don't know the full history. Like I really don't know the full history. But as I grow, I'm digging in the books and asking certain big homies like, how did this happen? How did this happen? I watched all the documentaries on YouTube from some of the OGs that's breaking it down. I learned a lot from a guy from the other side named Frog. I wouldn't say I'm actively game banging at all, like 0%. Yeah. But I'm more so game banging from the perspective of understanding what it means to be this. So I'm more so in the study of the gang, like figuring out pretty much the questions that you asked me. I'm trying to figure out how to start, what did happen, what caused this.
Okay, but at one point you were like, okay, I'm a Grape Street Crip, and you know you started wearing the bandanas and the dress code and everything.
Even in that area, right? I knew that we were leading into a social media standpoint, so I was like, let me over exaggerate. You got to think I was wearing khaki suits in like 2015, like nobody dressed like that. You know what I mean? So I was just pretty much playing on the West Coast stereotypical idea of a Cali person, but I don't think I've ever been like what do you call it? Like
active
gang member. No.
Ever.
I'm just affiliated by association. But I'm not an active gang member.
By geography.
But I could say like I'm actually a real Crip though. And what I mean by that is I most definitely keep the idea of the acronym alive, which is community, revolution, and progress. So
I mean, but being from that side, did you ever have an issue from just the affiliation of it? Because sometimes, like when someone runs up on you and says, where are you from? you can't say, oh, I'm from here, but I'm not really active. Like, you know what I'm saying?
See it, and even with like the type of energy that I carried my whole life, I never had that type of problem.
Okay.
Because I never was like, I never gave off the energy of, hey, nigga, do something. Like, I never was like that. Like I tell people like this all the time. Me and J-Rock grew up like this, like best friends.
Oh, because he was a bounty hunter.
He's from on the side. But but in junior high school, we were like this all the way to this day, right now. So
okay.
I think it's just like how our world work, like how Watts work, like everybody know each other. Right? Some people got personal beefs based on things that happen, but for the most part, everybody's cool. Like, you know, there's just like these small internal relationships that just won't ever break no matter what beef is happening. So I never had absolutely no problems with like maneuvering through Watts at all.
I mean, growing up in that neighborhood, what do you think was the craziest thing you ever saw? Because although you're not active yourself, that doesn't mean that other people are not doing what they're doing.
It was real. I was most definitely in the middle of a lot of wild shootouts. A lot.
So you'd be just hanging out, minding your own business.
Duck, run, duck. I'm not afraid to tell a story. I'm not going to get the names, even though I know all the names.
Right.
No, fuck with you. But so this is junior high school. I'm pretty sure Rock could vouch for this moment, this day. So it's two stories. I'm gonna give you two of them. One of them is junior high school. I'm in 6th grade. It's the first day of school. Now, I don't think nobody will really understand what it's like going to my middle school for the first day. Pretty much going to jail for the first day. So first day of school, all our people from our side, which is all the Crip kids, are crossing this thing called the bridge. It's the same bridge from White Man Can't Jump. We're crossing that bridge to go to the middle school right here on the other side of the bridge. So we're getting to school. Everybody nervous. You know, all our brothers and shit already told us what's gonna happen. So, you know, it's like somebody telling you when you go to jail, be ready for it. So we all in class nervous, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So recess, remind you, this is literally 10 a.m., 10:30, 10 a.m. in the morning. We get to the yard. All we see is like, remind you, I was probably 11. I'm 11 years old. All we see is like hundreds of people, look like 300 Spartan of Persia coming down that street. Grown men start hopping the gate. It's grown men. Like
into a middle school.
Into a middle school. Grown men. Demolishing all of us.
Beating up little kids.
Yeah, grown men. Full grown, like 30, 40 years old plus.
Yo, this is crazy.
Like, so we're catching fight. We're fighting. It's like, it looked like Sparta, like the battlefield from Sparta. Like, and I remember this shit like it was yesterday. I remember I'm on the field, everybody's scrapping. It's chaos. Like, some shit happened in slow-mo, some shit happened in fast, people getting punched up against a wall. And then like, I see this one big dude, man, and he's huge. I know his name, I just don't want to say it, but big dude, light-skinned dude, kind of Samoan-looking cat, long ponytail. Hit the gate and he's walking in slow-mo. Like, everybody else moving fast. I'm like, yo, this nigga's he's probably the boss. Like, he's the boss character for sure. And I remember he grabbed my homie. My homie was maybe like every bit of 5'1", maybe 90 pounds. Grabbed the homie up, picked him, and literally threw him. And he like flew, bro. Like, flew. Like, I say maybe 10 yards, bro. Flew. At that moment, I was like, and remind, I'm 11 years old.
Right.
I'm like, yo, what type of life do I have ahead of me? Like, this is real. Like, this is real. Because before junior high school, you're still a kid. But that moment, I was like, okay, it's real. Like, it's real in real life. So, you know, I did what I had to do to get out of the mix, you know what I mean? And before you know it, everybody ran back and jumped the gate and went back home. So we all at home.
We just went home. Like,
yeah, mama coming out. I was like, what happened? Like, why you not at school? And we just like, you can't really tell mom because it's like a cold. You can't tell mom like oh, we got beat up. Like, you can't. Like,
so the guys that showed up, were they from a specific crew? Well, you don't have to tell me, I guess. You know, but I'm just saying, what was the purpose of all those men showing up at a junior high? Like, what was once the dust settled and, the street starts to talk? I mean, clearly with so many people involved,
Look, man,
the stories
I
are...
realized there's so many levels of beef. I think at that moment, some of those older ones was like, if we fuck them up now, when they get older, we won't have no problems. That's the only logical thing I could think of.
Can you imagine this group meeting? Like, okay, everyone, we're going to go to the junior high. We're going to beat up these little kids. So then in the future, they'll be scared of us.
Yo, man.
All right, everyone's in agreement, right? Okay, that's all.
Watts was for sure a cinematic universe, like for 100%.
Okay.
100% cinematic universe.
Yo,
like,
this is just ridiculous.
That was
Is what
wild.
it sounds like.
Moving forward, I think the next most craziest story was it's a pool called Ted Walkins. Was at the moment it's called Will Rogers. So we in a pool swimming. Everybody's swimming, whatever. Like pretty much a lot of, I would say, our side of Watts was there, right? And out of nowhere, like people just start shooting in the pool.
Shooting in the pool.
Like in the pool. Like
I have never heard of this before.
From out the gate in the pool. Like just shooting everywhere in the pool. Right?
This is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Clearly someone swimming in a pool has very little threat to you at that moment. What are you going to do, splash me? Like,
people just start shooting in the pool, right? Everybody's shooting in the pool. So like we go under the water.
And you're in the water during
We're
the
in
shooting.
the water. We're all in the water. As we're swimming, we see the bullets flying through the water. Look like Mission Impossible. Bullshit you not. So we swim up against the wall. Everybody's up against the wall, like waiting for the shots to stop, right? So maybe like about I wouldn't say 2 minutes, because when people shoot in 1 second feel like
an hour.
It feel like hours.
Yeah.
I would say maybe like a minute later. Smoke clears, and this how much you got to think. We already got jumped and mangled when we were 11. So we're about 13 now. So this is a normal day in Watts. So crazy part about it is after the bullets and all that shit is over, everybody, maybe like 100 people are up against the wall because the bullets are coming this way. So we're up against the pool wall. The bullets stop. Everybody simultaneously peeked their head up and looked. It's over. All right, back to swimming. Like we just went back to swimming like nothing happened.
You didn't leave the pool?
No.
Did anyone get hit?
Yeah, my big homie got hit.
So there's blood in the pool.
I carried him out and we just finished swimming.
You're swimming in a bloody pool.
Let me tell
at
you,
this
Watts
point.
was so fucked up. You know what they did? They came pour chlorine right over the blood. Just swear to God. I swear, as God is my witness. They carried the big homie. Out of the pool, out of the yard.
And
There
y'all
was
just kept
blood right
swimming.
there. They literally poured chlorine right over it, and we kept swimming like nothing happened.
You didn't think maybe you should go home at this point? That maybe the swim day just didn't work out according to plan?
Nah.
No, you wanted to swim.
We're going to get to swimming.
It was a hot day.
It was a hot day.
It was a hot day.
But that's why. That's a normal day in what? It's a normal day.
Yeah. Okay.
Epic. But, I had a rough, man. I had a rough childhood, man. It made me who I am, though.
Okay.
It made me who I am.
When did the rapping start?
I say, I broke this down. Like rapping has always been like close quarters to me. Like my older brother and Crooked Eyes started rapping together.
Really?
Yeah.
But Crooked Eyes from Long Beach.
I know, but like they were all in the mix. Like if you rap, you rap. You was everywhere at that moment. So, I used to see Crooked Eye and my older brother rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be in the corner, like just kind of listening to them freestyle for hours. Just, and they were like super metaphorical oracle back then. Metaphorical oracles with oracles, moracles. They were just going off. So I was always influenced by mad words. So
yeah.
I think when I hit about maybe like, I say about 9th grade is when I started dibble dabbling.
Okay.
I said this in an interview before, like one of my guys that I used to go to school with named Kevin. And I said his whole name just so y'all can find him, Kevin Yeasagary. He was doing music. He's a super Pac fan, but he was doing music. And he like, yo, man, like, you want to get on the song? And I'm like, yo, I don't really know how to rap. You know what I mean? He's like, just get on. And I ended up getting on the record with him. I spit like an old ass Eminem verse or some shit, some old Eminem shit. Shouts out to M, because M was like played a good big influence in the beginning of my career too. Like as far as like what I wanted to do as a rapper.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lyrical, there's no way you could have not been an Eminem.
Yeah, like so you got I started off really listening to lyrical stuff, like hearing my brother and them, and then hearing Eminem, and I was like, oh shit, like That's crazy, right? So yeah, so my boy Kev got me into rap. So I say about 9th, 10th grade.
Okay. So did you start recording first or you started battle rapping first?
I started recording. I did music for the longest, like before battle rap even came about.
Okay. But the music itself never really took off?
I wouldn't say it never really took off. I would say we didn't really know what the fuck we were doing. We were just like, we had the little 2-track recorder. We was recording on tapes with the microphones and karaoke's and shit. Like, so we didn't really know what we was doing. We was just like, hey, let's just try to make a song. Then I think Fruity Loops came out. Like it was like Fruity Loops 1.
Yeah.
And we had it on the computer at the school. And it was just make beats at the school, save them on a floppy disk. Floppy disk. Bring them home.
Y'all don't know about that.
Floppy disk, bro. Bring them home. And then try to like make them up. So I wouldn't say it never popped off. We just didn't really know what we was doing.
Okay. So you're recording stuff with your friends at school, but you're not really, there was no SoundCloud back then.
No, it was just,
MySpace
MySpace came. It came like eventually it came. So I would say MySpace came with like 2000 what?
Sheesh. MySpace maybe 2005 maybe? MySpace launched. It launched in 2003. And it probably took a couple of years for it to get popular.
So I think I got on MySpace, I say like 04. Yeah, like 04-ish when I got on MySpace. That was right after high school. I graduated in 2003.
So 2005 to 2008 was when MySpace reigned supreme.
I say like 04 because when I got on it, my guy Troy, one of my best friends, Troy, all right, I gotta tell you the whole story. Fuck it, so you get it. All right, so in the process of rapping, you know, my guy Troy, he went to high school with us, but then he checked out. He checked out at L.A. Jordan because his parents was like, "You fucking up, so we're gonna send you somewhere else." So they sent him to private school, St. John Bosco, and he got in the mix with like mad Asian people, right, like super Asian people, and they were on MySpace early, like before everybody, like his whole group. So I remember like 2004, he like, "Yo, you should get on MySpace, man. You could connect with people," and I'm like, "What the fuck? What do you mean connect with people?" He like, "Yo, it's like the MSN boards, but you got a whole page that you could design." So I jumped on it early. But then I would say like 05, I would say like late 04, 05. So when you was able to make a music page and upload your music and shit like that. So I think that's when I started really popping. So I had a very big buzz, MySpace though, like super big buzz. I was getting like millions of views.
Okay, as putting out songs.
Yeah, as put it on music. Like, because I knew the trick. Like I knew, back then, a select few people knew how to code back then. Remember you had to you had to decorate your page in HTML. And, so my page was decked out. I looked like an industry nigga because I knew Photoshop. I knew a few things back then.
Yeah.
So I had my page decked out. I had glitter and shit moving and all that type of shit.
Which is the reason why MySpace ultimately went down the drain. Because the pages got too complex and they wouldn't even slow down your computer.
They wouldn't even load. Yeah, pages wouldn't load. That was me. That was me early, before everybody. Like I had all type of players and all type of shit. You come to my page, music just start. The fucking the banner at the top round close.
So drip from the bottom.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
I feel you.
So I was going up. I was hitting what was that shit? It was like what was the name of it? It wasn't a post, but you can post in this other section. Like it was like the board. I forgot the name of that section you could just post in.
Yeah, no, MySpace was doing the most back then.
Yeah, but I was running it crazy. Boom, boom, boom. So I was going up on MySpace and
okay, but that wasn't turning into a record deal.
No. I'm to be honest, I didn't even know like even to push for a record deal. Like I was like, yo, I'm getting views, like I'm getting plays, like people listening, I'm getting comments. At that moment, comments was the currency.
Was everything, yeah.
It was the currency. Like, oh, he said I'm dope. No, she said I'm dope. Yo, follow, put you in my top 8. You fuck with me, bro. My top 8, bro.
Top 8 was so important back then.
What VIP? Top 8
VIP.
was VIP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So so back then I wasn't even trying to push for a record deal. So I wouldn't say the music didn't pop back then. I had no direction. I was just like, yo, let's make the music, put it right here.
Okay, so what did the battle rapping start?
All right, so my guy Sticks. Are you familiar with Sticks? Why City Sticks? What's up, Sticks?
I don't think so, no.
If not, just get familiar with him. He's a super cool dude. Okay. Maximum talented all around the board. But my guy Sticks, it's a guy that I grew up playing basketball with. And he later on started doing music. I started doing music. So Sticks used to throw this event called The Pit in Culver City. And it was a super hip hop event. Like, you know, everybody was there. Everybody started there from 1500 to Tyga to the whole LA scene now started there. From Ichiban Don to everybody you can think of started there. It was a super like molding, underground, DJ, rap battle, just super hip hop spot.
Mm-hmm.
So shouts out to my homegirl Canary Diamond. You're familiar with Canary Diamonds, right? So Canary Diamonds grew up with us too. So she was already kind of like lit though. At this moment she was like she was supposed to be the Nicki. Like at that moment. Like she was like in that same position as the Nicki at that moment. Like what with Black Wall Street or something? I can't remember what she was under. She was moving, whatever. And I remember one day Canary's like, yo, we got this event. You know, y'all want to pull up with us? So we all put up to the event, and it just so happened to be Sticks' event. And when I seen Sticks outside, I'm like, oh shit, what's up, nigga? I haven't seen you since we was kids, nigga. He like, yeah, nigga, this my whole shit, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, yeah, I rap. And then he like, oh yeah, well sign your name right here. So when I signed my name, I thought that was the get in free list.
But it was
just
actually
so happened to be the battle rap list.
Oh, so you accidentally signed onto the battle rap list.
I'm not a battler. Like I had no idea. Like, so, you know, in the middle of the show, like the Daylyt to the stage. I get to the stage.
Your name was Daylyt already?
Yeah, my name was always Daylyt.
Okay, why? Before you go on, why the name Daylyt?
All right, so make a long story short, like when I was in high school, they always called me Day. That was just my name, because my real name is Davon. So they always called me Day. And my boy Kevin, which is the guy that I told you I started rapping with, Kevin, we were both skinny as fuck. Like I'm talking toothpicks. Like I was maybe like 140 pounds, a high school toothpick, whatever. And Kevin started lifting weights. Like he ended up getting yoked like Bruce Lee, like super yoked, but like a little more thicker than Bruce Lee. So one day he pushed me and he was like, Day, you fucking light, old Daylyt ass nigga. And he was
just
like,
stuck.
Your name Daylyt. That's it.
That's it.
It stuck. And I ran with it from it. So it's like 2002 maybe.
Okay. So you're at the event, you're signing as Daylyt, thinking you're just getting in free.
I get to the stage.
They call you to the stage.
Y'all come to the stage, Sticks like, yo, you want to battle? I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, and he just like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just do it for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you good. And I happened to battle. And then I'm not gonna lie, like, when I spit the verse, and I didn't know how to battle, but I'm like, you know, back then we come from battle culture based off hip hop. Like back then, battling and rap was not separated. Like it was all one big molten pot. Like, and you kind of had to prove yourself, not necessarily in the battle, but if somebody told you spit some bars, you had to spit some bars. You couldn't say no. So I think at that point, I'm like, yo, I got some verses on deck. I'ma just dump whatever I got. And I dumped it and the crowd went crazy. And I was like, it hit like crack cocaine. Like literally, I was addicted. And you got to think, we also come from Watts where it's not often that people give love. Like it's not often that people cheer you on where I come from. Like you could be good at something and somebody be like, that shit trash. So we come from an area where our only love language is hatred. So to finally be in a position where people is like, yo, I like you. I was like, yo, what the fuck type of emotion is this? I never felt being loved. We just got shot in the pool and kept swimming. That's a love I know. So that was my first time ever feeling like actual love from like people I didn't know.
From your overall neighborhood.
Yeah, like from this area. So I'm like, yo, and I told my man, I'm like, yo, we coming back next week. We come back next week, you know, and it's the same thing, everybody there. Shouts out to Lady G, Jizzle. I don't know if you're familiar with Jizzle.
Yeah.
But Jizzle started there too. She's like 14. She's a rap every night. She started the show. Jizzle was the one that started the show. Like she was like pretty much like the prayer. Like, but a verse, like, yo, Lady G gonna give us a 16 tonight. Boom, 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 boom. So she would go off crazy. But make a long story short, I showed up again next week. I just kept showing up. Remind you, Redman was at my first battle ever. Redman.
Oh, he was there?
Redman was there. First battle ever, yeah.
Okay.
So I just kept showing up and it became a thing. So then I never really had full plans on becoming a battle rapper though. I think when hip hop took that weird turn, like it, you know, remember we had Rockefeller, we had State Property, we had like the rappers, like, and it took that the other turn that way. Like I don't know what year it was.
Who came with that turn? Name me some artists that were symbolic of that turn. Kanye?
I wouldn't say Ye. I wouldn't say yeah. I would say
because Kanye definitely was part of that turn of I'm not a gangster rapper. I'm in college.
Nah, but Kanye still had bars though. He still was like he still cut from the rapper cloth, right?
The mumble rapper.
I would say like
turn.
I would say like
which came later. That was more the SoundCloud era.
In the Lil Jon era.
Okay.
Like, not taking away. They had the clubs lit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it became this weird space where it's like you don't gotta be, and I call it New York nice, where it's you don't gotta be back
when the South started to really
kind of you had A-Town Stump and all you had all these records that
I mean, let me tell you something. We just did an interview with Yin Yang Twins, right?
I fuck with Yin Yang Twins, dog.
Me too. And they talked about when they first started to really pop, they said that Jay-Z called them and said, y'all young motherfuckers messing up my money, and hung up on him.
Jay-Z called Smurf motherfucking house. Yo. B Nas. Yo. This Jay. You new niggas are fucking up my money. Click. This how you talk. He said, I gotta sell a fucking Sidekick Motorola to sell my Fade to the Black album. This shit ain't cool. You new niggas fucking up my money. And he on the phone up on the next question.
And that's
what
I'm saying.
about.
Yeah, so during when all of this was happening, I'm like, and you got to think, this is when my mind started to tell myself I should take music serious. So I'm like, oh shit. The type of music that I like is fading, and this new thing is coming in and becoming the standard. So I was like, battle rap might be the only safe haven for me to stay lyrical. Because music ain't about rapping no more. It's some other shit.
Yeah, I think probably around that time, that's probably when backpack rap became a term, and it became somewhat of a clowning term. You're a backpack rapper.
Exactly.
You know, the super lyrical.
Yeah, you're a lyrical miracle.
Lyrical miracle.
You're a lyrical miracle.
Talking about, astronomical solar systems and astronomy.
For astronomical, comical with the ramical. Yeah, and that was deemed bad. Like it became stigmatized.
Although some of it was bad.
It was.
Let's just keep it 100.
I mean, we had mumble rappers of those type of rappers. Right. People was like, yo, I'm gonna just open this thesaurus and find any fucking big ass word and rhyme it. Like, fuck it. Microscopical, ropical, the Galapagos Island. Like, people just saying anything. I ain't gonna lie, I'm saying anything. Right?
It doesn't make any sense.
No, they were just saying anything.
It's just big words.
Big words,
together.
but sound dope as fuck. But it was just mad big words. So I get it. But the coin or the term, they coined the term backpack rapper or lyrical miracle, and it had a bad stigmatism to it. So battle rap and backpack rappers and all that shit lived in the same space. So we was like, yo, all the boom bap beats, all the dirty trash can sounding beats and all that just older New York grimy rap shit, it was over there. So I was like, I'm gonna just ride this battle rap wave because that's kind of where my heart is at, right? I mean, of course I could make, I can make those type of records if I want to, but I felt like I was cheating myself. I was cheating the core of hip hop if I just tried to make some of those whatever type records. Not saying they whatever, because don't get me wrong. If it wasn't for the South, a lot of house parties wouldn't happen, a lot of dances wouldn't happen, a lot of babies probably wouldn't have been born because we was getting our freak on to a lot of the shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like the clubs was lit off all the shit. So more power to everybody that played a part in that movement. But as far as me understanding, like I always had this mind state that like linguistically I should keep like a high level so that the people who are listening to me can think at a high level. So I stayed there. I wrote battle rap all the way to where it is now. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy I did. Because, it went from the street corners, to barbershops, to 5,000 people venues. Now we don't even need people in the venue and we get $200,000, $300,000 check.
So the face tattoo, at what point did that come about?
All right, so this is probably like 2008. And I think, I remember, didn't I do the interview with you when I first got it, right? I think I was in my room.
08, no, 08 we weren't doing interviews yet. Because I launched Vlad TV in 08.
So I think it was like 09 then, 09, 010.
We probably did our first interview yet, maybe.
Yeah, but I remember I got on here and I was telling people I got my face tattooed because I wasn't going back to work and And so pretty much I give the whole story. So I remember like it was yesterday. I was sitting in the middle of Watts. I was at my homegirl Olivia house.
Okay. Were you battle rapping at this point?
I was still battle rapping, but I had took a break. Like I took a break from battle rap because a war happened inside of battle rap too. And that war happened. It was pretty racial war. It was like a super racial war happened. Like you had the street style rappers, like the hood, super hood niggas. And then you had like the super backpack, like kind of like big headphone. The dudes that look like they belong on Jet Grind Radio, right? Like this big Adidas tongues and like backpacks and like fucking spray cans and shit, whatever. Right. So you had the street rappers and those rappers, they were going back and forth or whatever. And it was just like, what style is better? You got the people that was like, I don't write, I'm all freestyle. And then you got the people that do write. So it was like all type of multiverse wars going on in battle rap. And I think in that moment, like, I kind of stepped back. I was like, yo, I don't know where battle rap is going. And I'm going to just focus on some things I need to do to get myself better as a human. So I remember I was sitting in the middle of Watts. A few of the homies just got shot. You know, it was just a wild moment in my life. And I'm like, yo, I had a job and all that shit. And I really told myself, this can't be it for me. This can't be, and most people where we from, they just like, this life. All right, we gonna just deal with the cards God has given me.
What was the job?
I was working at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Working at Taco Bell. Ready for the people that know. For the people that know.
Okay, no, that's what's up.
I'm gonna tell them I was.
I've worked a place like that too, so I respect it.
I was working at Taco Bell off 190th and Normandy. I was working at Taco Bell. Shouts out to my boy Kayvon. Shouts out to my boy Rodney Bell, which was the owner. I'm giving y'all some publicity right now because I'm still working there. No, I'm fucking with y'all. But shouts out to everybody that was there. But no, I was working at Taco Bell, so I would come on from Taco Bell back to Watts. And I was like, and I'm gonna tell you like what these are all the things that led me to getting the face tattoo. So I'm working Taco Bell, I'm working the back drive-through. And I remember this white guy pulled up in like a Shelby, like whatever year it was that year Shelby. And he put up in the Shelby, shit was loud. And I'm just like, I felt like a real, like, slaves from the back of the, that's a nice car. Right? I felt like a slave. I ain't gonna lie, I felt like a slave, right? That's a nice car, right? He was like, yeah, you get you one day if you work hard enough. I was like, I sure will, right? It felt very, very back in the days, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get paid this weekend, right? And I was like, I get $270. Hey, how much did this car, sir? He was like 80. He was like 180,000. I was like, if I work hard enough, I could get one, right? So then, like, when
58 years,
when I got off work, right, I'm happy. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna work hard to get me a Shelby, right? I'm gonna work super hard to get me a Shelby. I started calling a manager like, yo, can I get extra hours? He's like, I give you 2-3 more hours. So I'm like, yeah, I'm up. I'm doing like, I went from 15. I'm getting $6 an hour, and I'm only working 15 hours a week, 15, 16 hours.
Plus taxes.
Plus, I was cooked, bro. So one day I went home, I got my check. I worked the extra hour, so my check was like $300. So I thought it was up. I'm like, I'm up. Like I got a $300 check. If I get enough of these, I could get this car. And I like actually did the math, right? I'm like, all right, wait a minute, let's do the math. All right, 180,000. All right, divide by 3. All right. Oh shit. I ain't gonna never get this car. Yo, if you could call into Taco Bell and ask Rodney Bell how I quit, it was the epicest quit on the face of the earth, bro.
How was the quit?
Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I was talking to the guy in the car, I feel like I was in WandaVision. You know, like WandaVision was like an old school show. Right. Like I was in a whole old school Twilight Zone. But after I added it up, I was back in regular reality. I went from that's a night, man, fuck this goddamn, I quit. Right? So look, boom, right? Rodney did some cold shit, bro. Rodney, you a fucking dog for this. So we close and it's just me and Rodney, right? But he's the owner, like he's the store owner. And it's just me and him. So he's on the phone. So I think we close in maybe like, I'll say like 2 minutes. And like normally people just close early, but some people be like, if y'all say y'all close at 10, I got 2 minutes to order. 2 minutes. before the clock, somebody drives through and orders 400 tacos. I guess they had a party. They had a party like right across the street, right?
400 tacos.
It's like, look, if you can get in contact with him, he will vouch. 400 tacos, bro. He's like, yeah, we have a party, and you know, you hear the people in the car all laughing and shit. Yeah, with the tacos, through the speaker. And I'm like, I looked at Rod, and he's like, yo, take care of that. And he's on the phone. He's like, yo, take care of that. I'm like, you gonna leave me to do these tacos?
Oh, you had to make them all yourself.
I gotta make this
because he's not gonna do it. So
Right?
you gotta make 400 tacos.
Listen to me. This was the most epicest moment of my life. I put my headphones in, cut the music up. All you heard was orchestra. I laid all the tacos, like maybe like 200 shells across the thing, bro. I got the meat. Right? Lettuce. Like, I just literally I made all the tacos. Like, I did it, like literally I threw the meat everywhere. It was all over the shells. I put the fucking lettuce all over the shells, cheese, tomatoes, sour cream everywhere, bro. Like, I just went mayhem all over. Then when he came back, he was like, you made the tacos? And I was like, yeah, there they go. And it was just taco juice everywhere, bro.
It's a taco bomb.
Like,
Like,
taco bomb. Like, and I was like, man, I'm out. And like, I walked out.
that was it.
That was it. And then from there, went back home. I say like the next day, I'm sitting in the middle of Watts, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck I'm gonna do now? I quit my job. Like, right? You know, I needed that little 300. I'm like, I quit my job. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Like, my rap shit ain't moving. Like, why? It ain't even moving. I just put it aside. Like, I'm like, all right, my rap shit ain't moving. My basketball shit ain't moving. I ain't going to the lead. I can't stay here. This ain't it for me. This is not it for me. It's not it for me. So I started debating if I should go back to work. Because remind you, I sacrificed my music career because, you know, we all go through that moment in our life where your parents or your friends or whoever you with at the time be like, yo, that shit ain't working. We got to get some money. Like, you got to stop chasing this dream and chase reality. And I started chasing reality. So I'm like, I got to get this money. So when I quit my job, I kept debating if I should go back to work. I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do now for money? Like, you know, I'm at this point, I'm an adult. I'm not a child.
How old were you at the time?
I think I was maybe 20. I say like 25.
Okay. But, you know, living where you're living, there's also the option of getting it illegally.
Exactly. And I ain't gonna
Did you
lie,
ever dabble in that or no?
Nah, I never. Always, you got to think, I stayed away from drugs just because I knew what it did to my
To your
family.
dad.
Yeah,
There
so
you
like
go.
that also is the reason why I don't smoke or drink,
Okay.
because of
Yeah.
that scenario. Like, but so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yo, all right, hey, I got to do something, but I don't want to go back to work. And my heart kept saying, hey, Day, you had something there with that rap shit. You had something. I don't know what you had, but you had something. You're special. You're different. And then one day I was gonna go back to work. I called Rodney and all. I'm like, yo, could I have a job back? And then they was like, no. I don't know why the fuck I called, but you know, your pockets got kind of low.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I need my job back, you know, whatever. And it was like, no. I'm like, fuck. So I'm sitting in the middle whilst I'm at the train station, and I walk to my homegirl Olivia house. I'm sitting in the living room, and then I'm like, yo, I can't go back to work. I gotta find a way to block myself from going back to work. Like, even if I want to go back, I can't. I gotta chase my dream no matter what. She's like, what you gonna do? And I went to the bathroom and I drew it on first. And I was like, I'm getting this tattooed. And she was like, don't do it. She started crying. She's like, don't do that to your face.
Okay, and before that, were you a big fan of the movie?
Of Smile, yeah, I was a super fan of the movie.
The movie,
And
there's an animated series.
yeah, but I never really got into the comics or nothing. I just got into the movie.
The movie itself.
I start with Michael J. White. Like, that's where my Spawn saga start. And it starts off with just coming from him being a hitman, having to go against everything he stood for prior. So it's like a whole life switch. Also in the aspect of Spawn is a superhero too, but he don't look like a superhero, right? He kind of looks like a bad guy, but he's not the bad guy. And I'm like, you know what? Like, that's what I'm getting. That's the fuck I want on my face. Like, I'm getting that shit. And I did it.
Right. And I think we went over the story. I guess the first tattoo parlor you went to, they just said no.
They said no. Fuck no, we're not doing it. It's right off Hollywood, and I can walk you. It's the main one, like right there on the corner. I forgot what street it is.
Right. And we just want to rewind for a second. You know, in 2022, having a face tat is
I got it first.
Common.
I got
Wayne's
it first.
face is all tatted up these days. Moneybag Yo.
Listen, I'm gonna make this loud and clear.
Blah, blah. Back then,
it was just me and Mike Tyson. It was nobody else.
You and Mike Tyson were the only
right
one.
now, go to the comments of that video. I got crucified for having a face tattoo. All the comments, you're a bum. Get a job, loser. You're never going to get a job. I'm like, I'm clearly on Vlad TV. This is a good start to my career. I don't need a job. Right? But all the comments, get a job. You'll never be nothing. Rappers didn't really have face tats back then.
True.
No, actually none. Nobody had.
No, you're right. Back then.
People had a teardrop or two. Like it was like a teardrop.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, Birdman has some teardrops.
A few teardrops. That was it, bro. Nobody had nothing.
That wasn't some rapper shit. That's some street shit.
That was some street crazy. You were gone if you got a face tattoo.
Because, yeah, I mean, teardrops are supposed to represent murders.
Yeah. A few people had those.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether or not these people really did
not.
murders, I'm not saying, but that's what they're supposed to represent.
But at that moment, it was just me and Mike Tyson.
Right.
Literally, that was it. When Mike Tyson got his, they said he went crazy, and then I was next in line for people to say he went crazy.
Right.
So I got it. You know, I popped back on the scene in Watts, and this one I knew I had something. I get back to Watts with my whole face covered.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole city stopped. Everybody stopped what they were doing. Like cars stopped, trains stopped. Everybody just like
plane stopped.
Yeah, everything was just everybody
birds,
just was like
midair. Yeah, I feel you.
Everybody was like, and simultaneously, I heard every single person say, "This nigga crazy." The birds and everything. Everybody, the whole community was like, he crazy. He lost his mind. He cuckoo. 5150.
Okay, so how did you take all these people that you knew suddenly calling you crazy?
I knew they was crazy for staying there. They actually think the psych ward is home.
That's deep. That's deep.
No, I'm not crazy.
Because a lot of them are probably still there.
Not everybody. Not a lot. 99%.
Are still there. But you're the crazy one.
Yeah. But now everyone is like, yo, you did it.
You're a genius.
Yeah, a genius. But
right.
I didn't know what I seen in myself back then. And I think this may be just some divine purpose or mission or whatever you want to call it. But something told me that I had to do this. And it told me that it don't matter what nobody say, just keep going. And I did it. And I didn't have a plan when I got my face tattoo. I didn't get my face tattoo to say, I'm about to be this rapper. I just knew that I couldn't go back to work because I had to try something different. And, you know, I dibble-dabbled in filming. You know, I did my filming shit for a minute. Shouts out to my company, Real Dreams Productions. I was like doing photography for modelers. I was shooting videos for all the rappers in Los Angeles. I done shot for damn near every rapper in Los Angeles coming up, like all of the up and coming rappers. You know, and I was just trying everything. I was like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try the behind the scenes, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try it. I was trying everything in the book. I was reading, I was at the library every day, figuring it out, just doing all the groundwork that most people don't do. And I think like when social media came up, since I was doing so many videos and production shit, when social media and all that shit came up, I was so familiar with how people see things. And I was like, oh, y'all gave me, that's it. I'm gonna destroy the internet. That is my gripe. Destroy the internet by any means. And inside reading, power books, 48 Laws of Power, like all publicity is good publicity when you ain't got nothing.
Right.
I'm at ground zero. Anything I could take from here is a go. And that led to, quote unquote, like Mr. Antic Daylyt.
Right. Because then you started getting to real battling? Yeah.
And then like even in the aspect of like taking over the internet, the battle rap shit popped back up like 09. I think when I popped back on the battle rap scene, it was 09.
Was it grind time?
It was grind time. And I battled Philly Swain. You probably could chop, I don't know if you could take that clip and chop, I don't know how it works. But it's Philly Swain. That was when I first got back on the scenes. And when I popped back in you gotta think the battle rap scene haven't seen me for about 5 years, 5-6 years. So when I popped back on the scene, I don't know if it's 5-6 years, probably it's like 3 years, 3-4, I'm not sure. because I went from locksmith passwords to Philly Swain. So it was like a little dip in between. But when I popped back up, I had the face tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And the battle rap culture was like, oh my God, who is this level? Like, you know how Goku got Super Saiyan? Like,
right.
Goku got his head. I was like, oh, this is level 2 Daylyt. This is a new
boss level.
Yeah,
Daylyt.
the boss level Daylyt.
Yeah.
And, you know, I jumped back in battle rap with the face tattoo. And that was kind of like the beginning of like Spawn, AKA Quill, the battle rapper, whatnot.
Right. And were the antics there in the beginning?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was all like just very aggressive. I think because at that point, I still was carrying my past frustration as a man, you know, and most niggas in the hood are not violent or not dangerous. They just mad.
Mm.
No, I wouldn't even say they mad. They hurt. So that's just the way they express how they hurt. Nigga, I ain't no bitch. You know, nigga, I'm good. No, we ain't good. Nobody in the hood good. We all suffering painfully. So earlier in my career, earlier in my return of my battle rap career, I rapped from a pain standpoint. It was just like everything was, I'm in your face. Like it was a pit bull. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing, nigga, because I'm really like that. And it was just pain. I ain't gonna lie, I was hurt. I was hurt from the past. I was hurt from childhood traumas. All that shit hurt. So moving forward, I started to realize like that type of energy is a cycle. You do it to somebody else, it boomerang. Like, so the energy you give off, it's just gonna come right back to you. Like it's your mirror, your reflection. So I was like, I gotta change my energy. And I made one simple change in my life. And I want whoever's watching this to do this. And this goes to anybody from the hood. You could shift your whole spectrum by the lift of your eyebrows. That was a change I made in my life. If you walk around like this, everybody gonna be standoffish. I just started walking around like this. Hey, how you doing? Just lift my eyebrows. People started to wave. People started to speak. Hey, how you doing? Hey, dude, look happy. Just literally the lift of my eyebrows. And from that moment, like my world started to change. People started to wave to me. I started to meet different people. Before you know it, I landed myself in different situations. And I started to carry a different energy in battle rap. Then, you know, that led to me meeting different people telling me about different stuff. Then people started telling me certain books to read, certain religions to study. I started studying, Islam. I started studying like Buddhism. I started studying religion as a collective. And I stopped following religion, but more so I started to follow the ways of each person that are considered a prophet. So I just started reading a lot and I started to grow a lot. And then I realized, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do via battle rap. I don't have to battle these people, but I more so got to battle like the minds of people. And that's when I started to get super intricate with my skill set.
Right, because you've always been like lyrically on point.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it gets overshadowed by the antics that go along with it.
It wouldn't even be, it's not even overshadowed. It's just you and I know is algorithms that make certain shit go.
But people will remember what you were wearing.
It ain't even that they would remember. It's what they seen and what they didn't see. So although we think the internet works mysteriously or the share button works mysteriously, the greatest form of spreading anything is word of mouth.
Yeah, and quality content.
It is, but word of mouth gonna get you everywhere. Like, so what spreads faster, and I knew this, like just reading the 48 Laws of Power via 50 Cent, 50 Laws of Power. And I call it the dining room theory, and I think we spoke about it before, but it's the dining room theory. Like if you walk into a dining room and the waiter walks up to you and says, hey, how's your day going? You know, would you want some water? Would you want lemonade? Actually, everything's on the house. You probably just gonna go, man, this is a pretty dope restaurant. Like, but if the waiter comes in there and spits on your food, fucking, she got a booger in her nose, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking pull your phone out, take a video of it, send it to about 50 people, and you're gonna tell about 30 people, don't come here. Yo, this restaurant, you probably gonna make 20 posts on Facebook. Yo, this restaurant is horrible. It's the worst. So I understood like negativity will spread way faster than positivity. So I utilized it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna just say, whatever, anything just to get them. And although there was a lot of people that found out about this, while they were looking for more negative shit, they start finding the good shit. Like a lot of fans, like to this day, a lot of fans be like, yo, that's the dude from Vlad. Yo, I just found out that's the same dude from the LA Lakers freestyle. Like they didn't know they were the same people. But the people that I pulled in from the negativity, they now going there. See the other stuff. So I just used it as all as bait. Like,
what were some of the craziest antics that you did on stage? I mean, you've dressed up in the whole Spawn costume.
Spawn. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I ain't gonna lie.
When you battled Blind Fury, didn't you dress up like a blind dude?
I was dressed up as Batman, bro.
That's bad.
I can't lie, bro. And I can say this loud and clear. Like, when you in the moment of doing that shit, like you ever remember when you was a kid, you just did prank calls and stupid shit? But when you get older, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck was I doing that? Right? That's how I feel like looking back at some of the shit. I'm like, yo, I was really bugging. Like I was lost in the sauce. I was lost all the way in the antic sauce, bro. But the craziest shit, man, like shit, man, I did some wild things.
When you ate some shit?
Yeah, ate. Well, it wasn't really shit, but I orchestrated it nice and fine. All right, so once again, I understand perception. So, boom, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this battle. I know this is a big platform. I know all these niggas.
This was Eminem's thing, right?
Eminem's Total Slaughter.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I knew all these rappers was finna come up here with their lyrical miracles, their astronomical comicals, right? And I'm like, I gotta stand out. Fuck the bars. I just gotta stand the fuck all the way out. And remind you, I'm probably the only person they remember from that event.
Yes,
like legitimately, they don't know anyone else.
Right.
Joe Budden battled there, and nobody gives a flying
remembers
fuck.
that, right?
Right. So I'm like, what am I do? So I'm like, all right, boom. I'm gonna do this fake take a dump. I'm gonna just fake it. Like, I'm gonna get this fucking Snicker and I'm gonna fucking like crunkle it up and make it a little moist so it can look like a turd with the nuts in there. And I'm gonna just have a mental breakdown and eat this fucking Snicker turd. Right. And it was orchestrated. It was, you don't understand.
I figured that.
But people don't understand. I had to practice that. So like I was like, I had to roll on the ground at home multiple times. Like, I'm like, all right, no, I didn't like that roll. Let me try another roll again. Okay, I don't like how this turd is shaped. Let me like mold the turd a little more. But nah, I orchestrated that whole shit to the T, and it was a mission complete because I literally blew everyone out of the water. Like, nobody remembers anything from that event other than that. So a lot of my antics, they wasn't just like wild antics. They were strategically planned.
Yeah, and it was quite a bit of antics.
Yeah,
I mean, because the antics,
like, it's a compilation right now.
It's a compilation, right? Because they spilled over into your interviews.
Yeah, they spilled.
I remember there's one interview you did with us where you were headless.
Yeah, epic. But see, even that, like, this is how calculated that was, right? So when I did the whole like boo boo in the desert shit, right? I was like, I'm gonna do this shit, but they'll never see my face.
So you just denied it to you at some point.
At one point, I says, you never seen me. I was never at the event. That's not my ass. How do you know my ass? What you been looking at? Right. But if you look at every interview, every video, every picture, my face is not in it at all. It's just an actual headless horseman.
Right.
So I was planning all this stuff out to the T.
Right. And my favorite, of course, was Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley was epic.
I think that's everyone's favorite.
Bradley was epic, man.
Right. And the greatest thing about Bradley is that I think people think that you and I like get together and plan this stuff.
I just showed up, bro. It's funny.
Not true. Every Daylyt interview with Vlad TV.
I walked through the door, different person. Vlad literally had no idea, bro. Like, you got to think, I came regular. And then, like, when he walked out the door, came back, I was white. He was like, wait, what the
with the blonde wig.
With the blonde wig. Like, Vlad, at that moment, I think Vlad, like, inside his heart, he knew this one going. This one is out of here, bro. But nah, that shit was epic, man. Bradley was
that
dope.
one. That one was definitely was definitely out.
I ain't gonna try, like, when I sit back, sometimes I sit back and I think, and I think about all the stuff we did and all the stuff I've done, and I'm just like, yo, like, that was like a historical moment for myself. Like, and even in the culture, like, because I think I was wilding virtually before they made organized wilding. Like, now we got like industry level organized troll rappers.
Oh no, I mean the memes. You were sort of like a meme before the memes.
Yeah,
because I remember, I think like when Drake, first introduced his son Adonis to the world.
Yeah,
like someone sent me a picture of Bradley with Adonis,
me and Bradley,
like,
Adonis,
his real father. Like,
I was gonna post it too, but I was like out of my antic bag, so I'm like, oh my god, I want to post it. but I ain't posted. Yeah,
Right.
but
And Drake, you know, has reached out to you
yeah,
before.
Drake, my guy. Drake forever be
he's
my
a
guy.
fan.
Man. Yeah,
He's a fan of what you do and everything else like that.
Yeah,
and you know, along with the antics, there was the whole gay storyline that you did. You know,
and it's crazy.
Of fucking Diddy.
Yeah,
I think was
even
one
with
of the whole
even
thing.
with the Diddy shit, right? Like, I'm gonna tell you a wild backstory, bro. I'm actually mad, right? You know how I say like most of my antics work? Like my Diddy thing didn't work how I wanted it to work. And I'm gonna tell you why. So I did all the shit, boom. So later on in life, like I actually ran into Diddy at an event.
Okay.
Right? So we backstage, Diddy's walking in and I'm nervous. I'm like, oh fuck, man. He like, you know, cause it's a weird moment. I'm like, oh fuck, man. Like he about to remember that shit. So I'm like, let me just walk up to him and apologize early. So I walks up to him, I'm like, yo, hey, yo, Diddy, man, you know, I just want to let you know, sorry for the, you know, the blog that I did. You know what I mean? Like I was just trolling. I was just trying to get views. And he literally was like, what you talking about? That hurt. It literally hurt me. I'm like, what do you mean what I'm talking? He didn't even remember it. I was like, I thought it stuck. Like, you know, I thought I landed that one. I thought everybody remembered, but he didn't remember at all. I said, damn, maybe he's that busy that in my world, that was huge, but in his world, it's probably like a speckle. Like he probably was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, I don't think Diddy really
I
trips off a lot of that stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. But I thought it was a big thing in that other world too, but it wasn't. So,
well, you know, you fast forward to 2022 and you now have mainstream gay rappers with multiple hit songs like Lil Nas X, where it's now really just part of the culture.
It's crazy too, because I be thinking about it now. Like, let's just say, you know, when I was doing all the wild trolling in that aspect, like, it was okay to bash then. Like, everybody's bashing, like, oh, fuck him. No, we're not tolerating that shit in hip-hop. Hell no. He's the G word. I want to say the G word because that shit is like nigger nowadays. You can't say it. So I'm like, I'm not saying the G word. But that's all the comments. You this, you that, you this, bashing. It was main sites, academics, all them niggas. You this, you that, you this. And now, fast forward, 10 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
You get support now.
You get support. Your streams go up.
Oh, all the way.
When you come out of the closet. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
Or you get pushed out the closet. Yeah. It just is what it is these days.
It's
and,
wild.
but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, just as a human, I think it caused everyone to step back and say, like, we're all people. We all got our preferences, and there's stuff that we do behind closed doors that other people are going to find as weird. But it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It is what it is, man. Like, that's just, it's just life. I think
it's just life.
We got, you got to think.
Because gay rappers have been in hip hop forever, probably since the very beginning. Let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it 100. There's been a lot of guys in the closet that never got outed or never came out the closet themselves, but shit happens. Mr. C, got pushed out the closet.
It's there, but I look at it right now, like, we can't even be mad at that community. Like, the Pentagon said we got aliens, like, around the block. So, like,
that's more important.
Who knows what they gonna be into? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what sex is them? Like, all right, so, like, what do you consider if we officially merge with aliens and they're like, here, walking around regular, like, 5 arms and tentacles. Like, can I date one?
I don't know.
What are you if you date an alien?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I guess it'd be like,
all right, so, like, question. If the alien,
horse and a donkey, maybe?
Yeah, like,
maybe
if the
they
alien
could create a baby, but it might not be, fertile.
If the alien is
Who knows?
non-binary, like, if the alien, not man or woman, it could reproduce both ways, like, and you date the alien, what are you?
I think these questions are a little too deep for me, and I don't think I'm prepared to actually answer them at this very moment. I think we're going deep. We're going back into our old interviews for a minute, but yeah, it's all good though.
But no, that's the thing. So I just think right now in the culture, man, like, be whoever you're gonna be, bro.
Be whoever you're gonna be, and I think it's essentially every time people usually get embraced for being their truth.
Now,
you know what I'm saying? Because Lil Nas X was rapping about cheating on women in his biggest song ever.
Yeah.
Cheated on my baby. You could go and ask her.
Yeah.
Not him. Right?
I still don't know if he really there, though.
Oh, you think he's been faking the whole time? He'll come out and have, like, 3 kids and a wife. Be like, I got y'all.
I don't know, man. He might be
I was gay for pay.
I don't know, man.
No?
I don't know. It ain't
Who knows? Well, listen, he's winning.
But I just feel like right now, like, there is a market, and I would say coming from a mainstream level, there is most definitely a market for artists that are complete controversy to help push the streaming, you know, stuff like that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, look at Kanye.
You know,
He just released a $200 stem player for his album today, just to do it. Like people gonna buy this.
Man. Everybody
this
understands.
thing.
Cause
to his album. You know, it might work.
It's in the power books, man. Cause commotion, man.
There you
Rattle the
go.
waters.
Well, you kept doing battles.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year, 2021, you battled King Los.
Yeah.
Which was that your biggest battle?
Nah, I had a battle right before that. It was a 2019 or I think it was 2019. No, 2020.
With who?
I battled Tay-Rock on URL.
So you think that was bigger than King Los?
Way bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though King Los was like outside the battle rap.
It was outside the battle rap world.
Which I think
But for the actual battle rap community, I think when I battled Tay-Rock, like I trend the whole weekend.
Mm.
Yeah, like trending #1, like for the whole weekend. It's kind of crazy.
Who do you think won that battle?
I most definitely demolished Earth. And that's it was
okay. What about the King Los?
But he
battle?
did good. In the aspect of me and King Los, I most definitely won the battle. I'm not afraid to say this. Like King Los is my boy, and after the first round, like I seen how bad it could have been for him. So I just started freestyling. I was like, you know what?
Took it easy on him.
Yeah, I took it easy, 100%.
Okay, fair enough. And then at some point, I don't know whether it was 2020, 2021, I started hearing that you're, you know, starting to get associated with TDE.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How did that happen?
So just make a long story short, but just probably gonna be still a long story anyway. Remember going back to the Pit. There's a producer from the Pit that I knew named Willie B. He now goes by Ichiban Don.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew Willie B from way back from the Pit. But from the Pit, Willie ended up being one of the major producers over at TDE. And as he grew with TDE or whatnot, I ended up battling Ab-Soul. I know you're familiar with that.
I do. Yeah, he put on his album, right?
Yeah, I battled Ab-Soul.
Yeah.
And after I battled Ab-Soul, I went.
And how did? Before I go on, how did that Ab-Soul battle even come together?
One day, Ab-Soul just reached out to me on Twitter and was like, "Yo, Light, I fuck with you." And then I replied, and he was like, "Yo, I'm in New York." I linked up with him. We chilled for a couple of days, and he like, "Yo, bro, like, we should battle one day." And I'm like, "Fuck you talking about?" So then one day we in the studio, and he like, "Let's do it." I'm like, "You sure?" And then we just ended up battling, and then put the audio on the project.
Nice.
But
okay,
so after
so at that point you're kind of on TDE's radar.
Yeah, I'm most definitely in the 100%. They like, you know, behind the scenes, everybody like, okay, like Soul link with Day.
Yeah.
And this is on the album. So I'm very familiar with the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm always familiar with the camp because TDE is literally 7 blocks away from where I grew up at. And everybody know everybody. So people know who rapping and who making
J-Rock, that whole connection is there.
Like me and J-Rock was rapping together before he went to TDE. We was all fucking with this one label called Forsaken, my big dude Danny. And J-Rock actually left that situation and started fucking with TDE. But whatever. I mean, not fucking with TDE, but Top pretty much took him under from that way. But moving forward, after I battled Ab-Soul, Ab-Soul had the album release for that album. And when I went to the album release, Willie B was there. And he was like, "Oh, what's up, Daylyt? Nigga, I haven't seen you since 2006. Nigga, like, oh, hey, what you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm doing battling." He like, "You doing any music?" I'm like, "Not really, but why, what's up?" He like, "Nigga, we need to make some music." So I went to the studio with Ichiban Don. I made a few records. Will liked them. We ended up making a whole project, which was my Let There Be Light album. We made the whole project. That turned out pretty good. It caused the buzz that it did. And then after that, because Ichiban Don, Willie B used to rap back in the days too, but he stopped rapping to produce. So, you know, each one teach one. And when I talked about like the certain energy, I pretty much told Will, like, "Yo, Will, like, hey man, it ain't too late, bro. You should start rapping again too." So he like, "You think so?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So Will started rapping again. And then when I'm like, "Let's do a joint album." You know, and it's a battle rapper coming back to rap, a rapper that started battling that's coming back to rap, a rapper that started producing now coming back to rap. So let's do a joint album. So we did a joint album, and we actually got a feature from Punch.
Who's the president of TDE?
Who's the president of TDE.
So, okay, I've always been confused about this. So Punch is the president. Who is Top? Well, what's his role? CEO?
All right.
Owner?
All right. So you know how
I always thought the top was the president until I started hearing Punch's name later on.
I'm put it like this. I'm just put it in this aspect, right? So you know how you got like the president and all them niggas, and you got like Trump and Obama and all them niggas, and you got Queen Elizabeth, like.
Okay.
That's how that works, right?
Top is Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, top Queen Elizabeth, for sure. For sure. He calls some shots, his own, right? Snap a few fingers and it's war. Like
and Punches.
Yeah, but Punch has a lot of power. Like he's like Prince Henry and all them, like not Prince Henry, but you know what I mean? Like he's next on a level of power. Right?
Okay.
But so Punch pretty much did the feature. I started maneuvering. Like Punch and Willie built this like triangle. It's like, yo, like Punch, what you think about this record? Yo, Will, what you think about this record?
And the question is, why is the president of TDE with so many artists, that are viable, like Kendrick, of course, SZA, Schoolboy Q, Isaiah Rashad, they have a big roster. Why is he taking time out from his real job, of running this very powerful, successful label, to be sitting in the studio rapping and taking the time out on a project that at that point wasn't very viable? At that point.
Now you got to think how Punch works and how TDE works. They see futures that people don't see.
Okay.
So although at that moment it may have been valuable, but when you thinking from the perspective of their label and their branding, they most definitely throw curveballs in this rap game that always strike every time.
Not always.
When I say always, I mean, if you could say not always on people's second and third.
I'm not going to name any names, but there's a number of artists on TDE that really haven't had a lot of financial success.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
And I'm not going to say who, because I'm not trying to call people out. But you could go down the roster, and not everyone's doing Kendrick numbers.
But that's the thing,
or
right?
SZA numbers.
This is the thing. And remember, we was talking about this before camera. Like when I made my first million, I thought I was lit until I hung around niggas with millions.
Right.
So what is success? Everybody's success is different levels. So I
think success from a business point of view is if you put 100,000 into a project, you at least make that money back.
Yeah.
And in the music industry, just as a whole, just the way it works, is that a lot of times 10% of the projects a label puts out pays for the 90% of the failures that they put out that don't make any money, that ultimately that 10% has to pay for. Yeah. And I'm not talking about just TDE. You could look at Atlantic, you could look at Interscope, you could look at, whoever.
What I meant by TD throws curveballs and they strike, I mean, they're good at doing they're good at going a different direction than what standard is, right? And that has worked for them as a label, like as a whole. So I would say in that aspect, like a Punch has most definitely always been an artist too. Okay. So it's like even though like let's say like I don't know, one of these, let's say Steve Kerr, right? Steve Kerr has a team, a championship team with the greatest shooters of all time on his team.
He used to play basketball.
But do you think he don't play ever again?
But he's not getting on the field again.
I don't mean he can.
I'm saying Punch is getting back on the field.
I'm just saying,
right?
But in this scenario,
the day that Steve Kerr suits up and has one of the Golden State Warriors sit on the bench while he plays.
In that scenario, you dealing with knees, you dealing with body, you dealing with different scenarios. You're just dealing with vocals.
I got you.
Right, but Punch most definitely is outside as far as musically. He's most definitely outside.
Okay.
But in the aspect of that, like we built a little triangle, and I think Punch also was like, he kind of seen something in what we were doing. So it's like, y'all want to most definitely be hands-on. So we worked behind the scenes for a few years.
Yeah, no, I remember when you did the LA Leakers freestyle, yeah. I remember he made a comment about it. Like, like this is dope. Like outside of TDE, this is like some of the hottest shit I've heard. And I think after that, I don't know if it was before that or after that things started moving. Yeah. Because but it was right around the same time, I guess.
Yeah, it was around the same time.
Around the same time.
Punch got me to LA Leakers.
Dope. Oh, he's the one that put you on there. Yeah.
So those things have been working behind the scenes, like a lot of
good. I like that. And then Punch puts together the group A Room Full of Mirrors.
Yes, sir.
Name all the people in the group.
It's Lyric Michelle, Jerris Law, Early Riser, Itchy Bondon, Billy Marie, myself, Nick Grant,
And Punch.
Punch,
Who's actually in the group.
who's actually in the group. He's actually
Right.
a member in the group. Yeah, we outside.
Okay. And you guys actually put out an album last year.
Yes, most definitely. Or more like a visual EP. The album is on the way.
Right. And, look, we're just going to keep it 100. I listened to it. It was dope.
Yeah.
It was really kind of like, it was very lyrical.
Yeah.
And the beats sounded kind of like a boom bap kind of,
Yeah.
know what I mean? It wasn't like the new style. Like, it wasn't like, it was like, okay, like this is like classic hip hop with a bunch of rappers really like spitting one after the other, sometimes going back and forth and so forth. I looked at the numbers were not huge.
Yeah.
Like, I think the biggest song had like 200, 300,000 views,
Yeah.
which in this day and age is like, if you're not getting millions,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So when it came out, were you okay with it? Disappointed with it?
Yeah. See, and like I said, sometimes it's not about like a tree being 100 foot tall as soon as you plant it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, the album is designed to set up a very strong root.
Mm-hmm.
It sets up a very strong core. And with the Room Full of Mirrors, like, and if you notice, like, this is the president of TDE. There's a lot of things he could have done to made it.
Of course. He could have pressed all types of buttons. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
He did
It wasn't.
On purpose, I assume.
It's on purpose not to press buttons because it's like, yo, let's see what we could do without any fluff.
Yeah, I think Vlad TV made one of the first announcements.
One of the first times, yeah. Shout out to Vlad. But I think Punch was more so like, he can clearly say, hey, TDE roster, everybody post this.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But he was like, no, I don't want to do none of that. I want to see what we could get completely organically from just blatant good music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what he doing. So it's like, let's build the bricks very solid before we add all the glitter on top.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we on right now. It's core. It's all about the core. That's why, we didn't brand it as, with the label stamp. It's like, yo, let's see how many people will fuck with us before the hype come.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Before the extra hype. Yeah.
And I guess
it's epic. It's epic. It's like a nice chunk, like a good solid chunk of people. Like right now, we could probably pack out like a 2,500 to 3,000 people venue.
Okay.
That's solid. It's perfect solid for a Room Full of Mirrors. That's solid.
Yeah.
And that's with no, if you ever think, we didn't even do no super press run. We didn't hit the radio stations. We ain't have tell all the blog sites.
There was like a Genius interview.
That was it.
That was it.
Recently. But and this is deliberately, purposefully to see who is here before the clout.
Mm-hmm. And I guess with this is a setup for your solo album.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right. And I'm not going to say what we talked about off camera.
Yeah.
But the features on this shit is mind blowing.
Yeah. We out. We most definitely out.
Like when you hear some of these features, you're going to be like, yo.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And we're not talking about, TDE artists that should be an obvious choice.
Yeah.
It's like non-obvious shit. Like, God damn, you got him on a song with you?
I think
Sheesh.
it's too, like, it's just kind of like a lyrically respect level. I would say this, and I'm not afraid to say this out loud. I could say this publicly, and you can pretty much title this Daylyt Says what I'm about to say right now. I'm the best ever. So some people are like, I need a piece of that. I'm the best ever. Nobody in the hip-hop space is better than me. Not a single person.
There you have it.
I'm better than Biggie Smalls. I'm better than Pac. I'm better than everyone.
And you should think that way.
I am. I don't think that way. I am.
You are. Okay. There you go.
Nobody in the space of hip-hop would disagree. Not a single rapper at all. Not one.
There you have it.
I'm like a celestial of hip-hop. Like, I control time, space, nobody's going to say nothing. I'm the best ever.
How did it feel to watch the NFL halftime show and see Kendrick perform?
That shit was dope. I'm a super big Kendrick fan. Like, that shit was super dope. Like, super dope. There was only one thing I just didn't like, and I didn't like how they banned him from saying, like, Bloods and
Pyrus.
If Pyrus and Crips unify. Like, how? That's not vulgar lyrics. Like, what?
Yeah, he said if Pyrus and Crips all got along, they'd probably find me dead by the end of the song. That's the original.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, why is that offensive?
Right. Well, and actually, there was a Dr. Dre interview with TMZ where he actually said that was one of the things the NFL asked him to do. Yeah, they were okay with it. Kendrick was okay with it. Well, I think because everyone, and this is what Dre talked about. Everyone was aware of the magnitude of this stage. So they were okay with...
They were okay with making sure we look... making sure we say the things that can harm us, right? That's what they wanted. They pretty much wanted, no, don't... There's too many people watching. Don't put that idea in the minds of the streets. It is what it is.
So you're disappointed
but I know why Kendrick said, okay.
Because it was a stage.
No, it wasn't that. I'm pretty sure. So? I'm pretty sure he's gonna make up for it on this project.
Huh. And you've been in the studio with Kendrick and everything else like that. Yeah. Any idea when the next Kendrick album? That's what everyone's waiting for.
To be honest, I have no idea. When I was in the studio with Kendrick, like he's very he's like music, like he's like a musical genius. So like it's very Mozartish. I didn't see nothing. It was just like door closed. Kendrick's in there. Do not bother. I was on the other side. Well, but hi scissor. Okay, he's probably in there like composing. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm pretty sure whatever he's doing, is working on, is going to be humongous.
I'm sure. He's got
how many Grammys I'm just now? Excited as you.
Yeah, he's got what, like 10 Grammys or some shit.
Yeah, he's cheating. He got a what you call that shit? Pretzel? I call it a pretzel prize. What is it? Pulitzer.
He's got a Pulitzer. You're right. He does.
Pretzel. Pretzel prize. He got a pretzel prize. Nobody got a pretzel prize, bro.
What'd you think of Eminem kneeling during the halftime show?
I would have rather him perform White America, but that's just me. That's just me. See, and this is where my mind want to say something super controversial, but I got to think, all right, what's up? No disrespect to anybody who kneel, but I think kneeling is just completely stupid.
Why is that?
What does it mean? Why would you get down to anything? Why would you get on one knee? I don't get it. Like if somebody say, nigga, let's fight, and then the person get on the knee, you think they're gonna stop me from fucking you up? No. I don't get the point of kneeling.
Well, I think it was a way to get people talking without doing something that, is sort of out of character.
So it's like, all right, everybody put your right hand over your heart. We're going to sing the national anthem, but I'm just going to take one knee for the national anthem. If you don't like it, get off the whole field. I'm out.
Well, you can't. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's certain things. If you get off the whole field, they might kick you off the team because you're
leaving. Ain't they going to kick you off the team for kneeling too?
Well, that's what ultimately happened for certain people and not others.
Well, I'm just saying, you can't get half ass whooping. If you get the ass whooping, get the whole ass whooping. Fuck you, we out.
Okay.
I don't see the point of it. But if it's something that you feel would irritate, quote unquote, the oppressors, then hey, kneel all you want. But I just didn't see no purpose.
Joe Rogan recently came out with it was a compilation of him saying the N-word, as well as referring to black people as Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Also saying that black people only have bodies and white people are brains. Yeah.
He said that?
Yeah. He said, if two black people mix, the kid is going to come out with a black body and brains of a white person. He also said that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Yeah. Are you sure about this?
I'm 100%.
Hold on a second. Let me just look this up before I get sued by Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, he said it. I fuck with Joe, though. I fuck with Joe Rogan. I don't have no gripe against him at all.
Here we go. You get the body of a black man, and then you get the mind of a white man all together in some strange combination about having a different brain. And wow.
Yeah.
Did you know that he has a half black stepdaughter? The woman he's married to had a daughter with the lead singer of H-Town. Remember Knock on the Boots?
Yeah.
Who died in a car accident. So he has a mixed stepdaughter who he lives with. So it's kind of crazy that he says,
I don't know, man. Like,
that.
This is my thing, right? And I want to say
I didn't know about this. Yeah. This is actually kind of upsetting.
So that makes your apology go away. Even when he made the apology, it goes away now, right? It's like it's over for your apology.
It doesn't hold as much weight.
The apology this doesn't hold weight at all. It doesn't hold weight at all. This is my thing, right? And this is my take with Joe Rogan. and this is my take with all racist people. Like, if that's how you feel, stand on it. And you don't have to half-ass it. Either you go hard or you go home. Now, moving forward, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say this loud and clear, and I want the whole internet to understand this. There was one time where I had a real chip on my shoulder in regards to racism. I spent a lot of my time like, yo, that's fucked up what they did to us. You know, like one day they gonna get theirs. And I used to always complain online, like life not fair, the system not fair. Like I was one of those people. But as I get older and I start to understand what I am, you're right, life not fair. It's not fair to be black. Being black is a cheat code. It's a glitch. Like we're born with huff badges. Like literally, like just from a DNA standpoint, it's a cheat. Like for example, like if you come in our neighborhood and sleep with all the women, you're going to have black kids. If I come in your neighborhood, sleep with all the women, you're going to have black kids. Genetically, we're cheat. We can erase other people just by breeding. We're cheating.
It depends on.
No,
it depends on the kids. Certain people, like
100% nigga, erase.
I mean,
We're
you
cheating.
have what's his name? What's his name? The mixed rapper.
Let me tell you what
Logic, for example. You look at Logic. Logic could pass for white, and he's got a black father, right?
And the black father got some other stuff in there, some twisted. But more of the stories. Look, I'm gonna tell you when I stopped hating racists. I mean, I stopped hating other race people. I got a Caucasian friend, and was in Hawaii, and he pretty much broke it down to me. It was like, Day, why do you go so hard on us? Like, I know, my fault that slavery happened and the systematic racism and shit like that. He was like, hey, bro, like, do you know what it feels like to not know how to dance? And I was like,
that's supposed to be the trade-off?
I was like, no. And he was like, you would never understand what it feel like to not be coordinated, to like all these things that we don't deal with. Like,
yeah, but that's bullshit because I actually,
no,
I can dance pretty well and I have a lot of coordination. Simply because I practiced. I practiced. I don't think I was born with a certain level of rhythm.
That's what I mean. You. There was a point of time in your life, I'm gonna cut this beat on. I'm gonna try this cha-cha.
Well, I think with black people, they're probably born with not knowing how. You look at it's true. No, I'm gonna argue with this. People aren't born, but people that grow up in a family where everyone's dancing and they start to emulate it, it seems like they're just born with it, but they're actually just learning. They're practicing.
My son was bobbing his head 2 days after he was born.
Okay. All right.
There's multiple videos. You can Google. There's baby 3 months old dancing. There's multiple. It's part of our genetic DNA to bop.
All right. We can agree to disagree. I mean, it's all good. And listen, at the end of the day, though, you have mixed kids.
No, you do. I have
you have mixed kids.
I have mixed kids, 100%.
Not people generally. You in particular,
I don't have
mixed two.
I don't have mixed kids. I got black kids.
But the kid's mother is.
If they get pulled over by the police, they ain't gonna say mixed. They're gonna say black.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
But that's because of America's racism. You go to other countries, and they actually have different words. Like for example, like you go to Brazil, and people who are mixed are known as morenos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas people with dark skin are considered like more black. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just the whole one drop bullshit rule in America that's like, if you're 1% black, then you're black. Like, but in reality, that's all nonsense. Really, like you have everyone has their own specific DNA, and it has a lot of different aspects to it. Like clearly your kids, although they may appear black, there's obviously a lot of traits that their mother has handed down to them.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. They niggas. They niggas black. It don't matter. They niggas. But no.
Okay.
I just started to really understand, man, like the more history you do, just in terms of like black civilizations and non-black civilizations, like I look at like George Washington and all them niggas. I look at all the pictures historically of non-black people, and they all look sad. Everyone, they don't got no swag. They got bunk ass high socks, look like leprechauns and shit. Like we was lit. We been lit from the pyramids. We been lit. We been draped down, Gucci down. Horace had the gold staff. Niggas, Horace and all them niggas, they was out there turning up the pyramids. Nigga, bottles on me, gold, everything. We been lit. We been swaggy. So at that point in time, I just realized, I'm like, you know what?
Except for the people that actually had to build the pyramids. I don't think they were lit too much.
They might have been a little lit, but after they built it, Horus said, "Hey man, hand my man a bottle or two." You feel me? What Osiris or something? But no, I just realized, man, like, and I say this too because I live in pretty much like a predominantly white area now, and when I go to the gym and I play basketball, like it's not fair, like. It's just, and I'm like not in nowhere near the best shape of my life, and it's just not fair. Like,
yeah,
and there's people in there every day trying to be better, but they got a limit. Like,
well, then you have the Larry Birds of the world that come in and just demolish everyone.
You get one or two. You get a Jason Williams. You get one or two. But for the most part, on a global scale, it's like I understand it, man. Black people need to be humbled. Slavery had to happen. We need to be humbled.
Because y'all were too lit before that?
We was too lit, dog. We was.
All right.
Nigga said, hey, let me get a pyramid.
I'm not touching that.
Let me get a pyramid.
That's all you right there.
Let me get a pyramid. Nigga said, shit, I want 3 of them. We was balling. Okay. Massa Musa was giving gold to everybody.
The richest man of all time.
Massa Musa was the first nigga did this with gold bricks to the whole world. It's facts. We was balling.
Actual gold bricks.
Just gold
bricks are hitting people in the head and all that.
All gold bricks. All gold bricks. He's the first nigga. So what I'm saying is we was really OD, like we was wilding. So, hey, we humble. It's cool. We get it back, though. We get it back. Black people always fuck up the pack. That's just what we do. We fucked up the pack, dog. We get it back. Ain't no biggie.
Since our last interview, Kanye and Drake have squashed their beef.
Yeah, it's epic. I love it.
I love it, too.
I love it.
I love it, too. Were you surprised that actually happened? I mean, because you know Drake.
Yeah.
You don't know Kanye, though. Or do you know Kanye?
I know Ye and he know me, but we haven't formally been in the same spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you saw the two of them come together, what'd you think?
Shouts out to Jay Prince. Jay Prince made it
Jay
happen,
Prince
right?
put it together.
I fuck with the moves that he make behind the scenes. It's very dope.
Around Larry Hoover.
Yeah, shouts out to the whole setup. I don't like the more and more I get into the music industry, the more I realize how tedious things be.
Very much so.
Like people would be like, you didn't like my picture. And that'll start a whole
You unfollowed me.
Yeah, you unfollowed
3 years ago.
It'd be
still mad about that.
It'd be that type of stuff in this music industry that'll start a whole like separation. So most of these people beefs and gripes be tedious. So that shit is dope to see them back together. Like I would love for them to make music together again. Like I would love for everybody to make music together.
Yeah. Yeah, and they probably will.
That shit was dope seeing them on stage performing and shit together. That shit was dope. Like,
in LA.
Yeah, that shit was super dope.
In LA. How do you feel about Kanye terrorizing Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson on Instagram?
I'm not really familiar with Pete Davidson, so I don't really know.
Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, I didn't watch that in black.
You're not going to tell me Saturday Night Live is a white show.
Arsenio Hall.
You're not going to tell me that. When Eddie Murphy was,
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking with you.
You know what I'm saying? Richard Pryor, I think, was on the first episode.
I didn't watch. I'm not familiar with Pete. Like, I think he came.
But how do you feel? How do you feel about, imagine you and your kid's mother, the way you guys are working out your problems was with Instagram posts.
Yeah, that's this era different.
And you're threatening her new boyfriend on Instagram and the such. Can you imagine that?
I think from Pete, and this is just me speaking from that standpoint, he knew what he signed up for.
Of course.
Like, we from the hood. Like, if Shaquanda tell you she talked to Lil Killer, and you the Lil Killer, if you be the girl, she like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend named Lil Killer. He notorious for killing, and you get with her. You think Lil Killer ain't gonna spin a block?
Oh man, listen, I've been in that situation. I've been in a situation of dating a girl and the crazy ex-boyfriend shows up in the middle of the night.
So what I'm
jumps
saying,
in through the window.
So
like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've had this. I've had this before. Right. I can very much relate. I just feel like when it comes to the two of them, the crazy is so much higher because people have more money. Like, yes, I've had crazy exes before, but none of them have bought a house across the street from me.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
Different. That's,
you know what I mean?
That's different. That's different.
That's different.
That's different.
That's a different type of stalking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, imagine everyone's taking out the garbage together. Like, Kanye's taking out the garbage and Pete Davidson see each other from across the street.
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of wild.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he did that in the form of stalking, or was it to see his children?
Probably a little both.
Now I ain't gonna lie.
Probably a little both, because you didn't have to buy a house across the street. You could have bought it down the street.
I'm gonna be honest. Like if I got, let's say I'm in the billionaire club, and my ex is telling me I can't see my kids, I'm gonna buy the whole street.
Yeah.
The park, the playground, all that. She gonna say Daylyt Park. Like I'm buying everything. I'm gonna see my kids by any means. I'm by the sky. Fuck it. I'm gonna buy everything. Like, so having a daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it feels to have a daughter, but I can only imagine like the emotions to having a daughter is a lot stronger than having a son.
Right.
Right. So in that aspect, to take his daughters from him, and I don't know Kanye mentally, but he may already be on the edge mentally.
Do you think?
You know what I mean? So to take his daughters from him and deny him access, you denying a billionaire access to his kids. He's gonna think of the best way to see them.
Yeah, I don't know how much of denying is actually happening as opposed to just Kanye not getting his way and acting out. But there are two words that usually apply to situations like this, and those two words are restraining order.
Yeah.
And if things do continue this way, she is going to file a restraining order. And at this point, she probably has enough evidence of just public posts. He's like showing pictures of like, Pete Davidson was going to get in a headlock, showing like the baby boy picture of like the dude in the headlock and, threatening to beat him up and everything else like that. And I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't end badly, like with someone going to prison, someone dying.
I don't think it's going to end.
Someone getting seriously hurt.
I don't think it's that. We're not in that.
I wouldn't put anything past a Kanye. Like I've interviewed Kanye before, back in 2004, I think.
I don't think. Look,
like
man,
the way Kanye was back then when I interviewed him is the exact same person who you see today. Kanye's always been Kanye. The world just got to know him a little bit better.
I don't think he's to the point to where he gets somebody killed.
I don't know, man. Once you start bringing kids into the equation, and you've always gotten what you want.
I think we just in too much of a social media era, and he got way too much to lose. I don't think it would.
Yeah, you've seen Kanye throw away a lot. You've seen him get on stage and literally cancel his whole world tour right there on stage.
Yeah, that
affects literally like probably hundreds of thousands of people were affected by that one temper tantrum on stage.
I agree.
Think about it.
But
you cancel. Okay. Fuck this concert. I ain't feeling it. I
think as a concert,
but then the next day you come out.
I don't think he would do something in an act of violence to put himself into a scenario.
Well, you don't plan on doing things for an act of violence.
No, but
it just happens in the course of.
I think at this point he's smart enough to know that all those possibilities lead to him not seeing his kids anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would go to that.
And I'm sure.
But like this, I pray that he doesn't go to that.
Okay, there you go. Hey, speaking of that, there's really been a lot of death in LA specifically.
Yeah.
Two guys I interviewed last year died violently. Slim 400 and Draco the Ruler.
Yeah.
The Draco thing was very disturbing because like his manager TK Barron told me afterwards, this is the first instance of a rapper getting killed at a show he was performing at.
Yeah.
Backstage. That's never happened.
Yeah.
Rappers have gotten killed over the years for,
out and about,
being out and about, being in their old neighborhood, being at a studio, whatever, but not getting ready to perform at a concert backstage at a Live Nation event. That was something that was, it almost just made you think like, yo, you're not safe anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, like.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I've been so much in a super positive world that my ears are completely unplugged from the streets. Like I don't really know what's going on in the streets.
He got stabbed to death.
Yeah, and I'm saying based on.
I'm not gonna say who he was beefing with, whatever. Y'all can look that up yourself. But he got stabbed to death backstage at a show he was about to perform at. Once upon a time in LA.
Based on what I've seen and understood what happened, and me understanding street politics, I can assess the situation based on what I know about street politics.
Well, yeah, he made songs like Ingleweird. where he dissed a whole city.
I never even heard none of those records.
Yeah.
I just was familiar with him based on him being from the city and the Drake cosign. But I never really dabbled down to music because I'm very weary of what I allow to enter my ears now. So I just don't listen to anything negative via music at all. But I am familiar with him, and I am familiar with, how he was moving or who he was moving with. It's a very unfortunate situation. But the city is on demon time right now. It's just what it is. Like, and I pray for everyone that has fallen. And for those who feel like they don't want to fall, you got options to get out of there.
Yeah, and you really got to hand it to TDE. I mean, I don't know how much Top really has to do with this and how deeply he has his kind of fingers in the way that his artists really portray themselves. But you don't see anyone on TDE like beefing with anybody. You don't hear any violent incidents that happen at shows.
I'm gonna tell you why, and it's just based on what I know. I think it's more focused on two things. Let's preserve hip hop. Not only just like the new hip hop, which is like, and there's two types of hip hop. You got like hip hop from its core, then you got like NWA, like gangbang hip hop, right? Like that's it's a type of hip hop. But I think like the artists at TDE are more focused on preserving the core of hip hop. Like good music, good positive music, good vibes, like just like we gonna be all right, shit like that. Win, 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 win. Like these are records that are designed to make you feel better. They're not destructive records.
You're right, because the logical step, the logical comparison, from the top down with TDE would be Death Row.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the other big powerhouse LA-based gangster rap label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Similar types of artists coming from similar neighborhoods, similar backgrounds, and everything else like that. And under Suge Knight's leadership, it's self-destructed ultimately.
Yeah, but you got to think like,
whereas under, and it's not like Top doesn't come from a similar background.
It's just the type of person.
But yet he's a completely different human being, it seems.
No. It's more financially driven than destructive driven.
As it should be.
And just based on what I know and the conversations that I had via that level, it's a push for like to break the cycle more than to continue it. We all had our heyday or not, but you get to a point to where you look at the neighborhood or you look at the environment and you go, I want to make change. And I feel that that's his gripe at this moment. Like, let's make change for not just our city, but like for the world. And I feel like that label as a collective stands for something bigger than just rap. It's most definitely preserving something that is kind of like scarce at the moment.
Yeah, man. And they've done a great job. Like I said, I used to interview J-Rock in like 2009 when he used to come to my studio in Chinatown. Yeah. And Top was right there. I didn't even know it until me and Top talked later. He's like, no, I was right there with him. Like, I was like, oh shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
but the best part about it is this is the product. This is the outcome of believing in something. And I think like for the most part, that in itself, it gives people hope. Like for the people that's watching, it gives people hope. Like if like some things don't happen overnight, but if you like really have a plan and faith in something and you push it till the wheels fall off, like it'll turn over. And it turned over. Extremely turned over.
Yeah.
In the time where people was like, that ain't gonna work. Like, cause you gotta think, I knew Kendrick. I wouldn't say I knew him, but I knew of him before the world knew of him. Cause you remember my guy Compton AV, right?
Yeah.
Compton AV.
I've interviewed him before.
They all went to fucking Lusinger or some shit. So I remember like back in the days, people used to be like, man, that lyrical shit ain't gonna work. Like that's what people were saying. Like, man, like I know of him, but he on that lyrical shit. Like we trying to turn the streets up. Like, and they were like, that lyrical shit ain't gonna work. But, but like, coming from, top perspective of maybe just understanding artistry via Punch 2, they was like, nah, it might not work now. But it ain't about now. It's about building a super foundation and letting those seeds grow into super trees.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah. Kendrick is not what I would say is an obvious star.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
He doesn't have the look. You know, let's just start at the bottom.
As far as,
you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have like, you know, he's not like this pretty boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know
what the look is though?
He's not all built and muscular for the ladies. Like, you see what I'm saying? I mean, when you look at like music stars as a whole, like let's look at like a Nelly, for example. Yeah. Nelly was clearly like marketed a certain type of way and blew up, you know, by appealing to the women and doing pop songs and doing dance songs and having him presented a certain type of way and having certain imagery around him and so forth. You look at Kendrick, man, you know, a short, dark-skinned kid with braids, like, you know what I mean? Doing music that isn't pop music at all, and yet, look what happened.
I think what he tapped into was the hearts and minds of people who come from not having the glamour.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't get the glamour. Like, let's just say Kendrick came out if he would have came out with Section 80 and all this shit when I was young, I'd have been like, that's my idol. He's speaking for us right now.
Right.
Everybody in this environment, he's speaking for us.
Well, and Section 80 never blew up. I mean, later on it did.
But it was a good like plant.
Introduction.
A very good plant.
Because I'll be honest, I didn't know about Section 80 until afterwards.
It was a super plant. So that's the thing. That's what I mean by, you know, TDE. They plant very good trees and they let them grow. Mm-hmm. People might walk past them like, oh, what's that little weed over there?
Oh yeah, SZA was putting out songs forever until she finally hit with one that actually started to really go. And then she just, you know, it was over after that. But I remember for years we were covering her and it was like no one cared. And then suddenly, boom.
Let's plant the right trees, bro. They plant very good seeds. So in the aspect of Kendrick, you feeling that he's not marketable, he's not.
Well, I'm not saying that. Not me
personally.
personally. I'm just saying top down when you
based on standards of how they create rapper my players.
Exactly.
Right?
There you go.
But I think he let his heart speak for him. Like the heart, the passion, that is the look. And that's why he has remained extremely successful, because it's the look, it's the passion. And, and I feel like there's a lot of people are choosing that over the passion.
No, listen, and I've said this before publicly, that if Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, and Jay-Z all dropped on the same day, most people would probably listen to Drake to the Kendrick album first.
Can I explain how that's gonna go?
On that particular day, all of them would do well, but on that day when you're like, damn, I got 4 albums to listen to, which one do I prioritize as a hip hop fan? It will probably be the Drake album. I mean, why do I keep saying this? The Kendrick album. The Kendrick album.
If all those albums dropped on the same day, then that would be presented to people like a restaurant. So Drake would be the appetizer, 100%. Drake makes appetizer music. It's not music that really stick, but it's very good for the moment. Like chips and salsa. Right? It's very dope chips and salsa. Nice hot salsa, some spinach artichoke, and it gets you right. Like you right.
You're ready for the main dish.
You're ready for the main dish. It's fire. You turned up, you lit. Like you talking at the table, you on your phone scrolling, taking pictures and shit. You lit.
Right.
Right? Then you'll have, I would say, you have options, right? After that, you got options. You can go Hove. Hove might be like the filet mignon. You feel me? Filet mignon, and boom. Cole might be like lobster, you know, and Kendrick might just be like he might be a little bit of both. He might be the shrimp and lobster platter. So you got options. You got to pick, but or you can go, let me get Kendrick shrimp and lobster, and then I'm gonna probably get like a milkshake. So Cole might be the milkshake. He might be like a super thick, nice milkshake.
You made Cole a beverage. I got you.
Yeah, like a whipped cream. But a milkshake is just as thick as the milk.
Right.
It's thick. It's very like a good milkshake. One of them good whipped ones. Like you got to wait to dry. Right. You got to wait to thaw out.
With that metal can, you know,
yeah,
the metal next to it.
Yeah,
like pour on. Yeah, I got you.
Thick milkshake.
Right.
And then but I most definitely would think. I most definitely would say Kendrick and Jay would be last if all those drops.
I would say Kendrick actually.
But no, they would.
I would say Kendrick and
when
partly
I say last,
because
when I say last, I don't mean they would come in last. I think people would get the other ones out first before they clear their minds for what they like the bigger meal.
Right.
Because with Kendrick is more in depth and Jay is more in depth than the rest of them.
Right. And the fact that there's also the scarcity of it.
Yeah.
It's like if you haven't had lobster, in America for 3 years, and then suddenly, you get a chance to order lobster, you're going to be like, oh shit, I want that lobster. Because last time Kendrick dropped was what, 3 years ago? Damn came out 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
That motherfucker he drop whenever he feels like it.
But that's why I tell people, to all the artists that's listening right now, like, when you make good music, you don't got to be a microwave artist. Like, you make very good music, you don't have to.
I don't know if I agree with you on that.
You don't have to.
Because that only works when you're already at a Kendrick level, right? If you are an up-and-coming artist that drops an album every 3 years, you could just forget about it. It's not going to work. I don't care how quality it is. If you don't have the fan base to rush to pick that up, you have to do like a Future and keep dropping shit all the time.
It depends, right? It depends on how you market. Like, and I could use one specific guy that you might not know of and a lot of people might not know of. There's a guy named Salt. He used to be at Venice Beach. He dropped one album and he's probably like 2 million copies sold. Salt. Venice Beach Salt. You might not know of him. He don't have too many online numbers, but he sells a CD outside of Venice Beach. He's probably been selling the same CD since 9-5. Like, this is a fact. Big Bluff black dude. I don't know if you can find him. Salt, Venice Beach, CD. Promise you. Bro, sometimes it ain't about like the streams or the sales. Sometimes you can still get in the field with it. So it just depends on how you pushing as an artist. But I'm just saying, like, when you make good quality music that's not based on like one night stands, then you don't have to make one night music. Some of that stuff might sit, man. A lot of this, like, I ain't gonna lie. I could always go back to a Jay album. I could always go back to a Kendrick album. Mm-hmm. I could always go back to a Royce album, an Eminem album. I could always go back to these albums. I can't go back to some of that other stuff that I'm never going back to D4L. Ever. Ever. You get what I'm saying? Like right now, would you shake that Laffy Taffy? No. If it came on in the club and I had a shot or two, I might.
Saying, but you're also talking about dance music.
But I'm saying,
dance music never really. Well, then again, I don't know. You go back to some disco shit. That's
it
still
might
hot.
It might hit. But
right.
I'm saying, it's just certain stuff that you're not going back to.
Yeah, I mean,
it was dope. It was
at the
dope
moment.
At the moment,
and it's also almost like a capsule of your life.
Yeah.
When you think about that, you think about everything else that's going on. You think about the clubs that you danced to, the girls you met.
It was dope at the moment.
At the moment,
it's just certain stuff you're not gonna go back to, but. Like a good music, you'll always go back to, no matter what. Like, let's say oldies, like certain samples or whatever. Like it's gonna hit. Mm-hmm. Like what's that? Loving you, That's that. It feel good no matter forever. It's a good record, a dopely produced record. So I would say that, like, just as far as the artist, man, like, and via shouts out to Young Thug. Like, Young Thug even said this out his own mouth. Like, he was telling one of his nephews or something, like, no, don't make music like me. Make music like Cole and all them niggas. Make good music. Don't do what I'm doing. But that's why, certain niggas got to keep dropping. And it's the fucked up part about it. The same fans that fuck with you when that shit hot, when it die, they crucify.
Right.
Like, didn't what's the name just delete his Twitter from getting crucified?
Roddy Ricch?
Yeah. Those are the same people that loved him.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the fucked up part. And I'm not saying.
I mean, look, or you look at like a Corday whose second album really didn't do that first week sales. Like, did like pretty like 20 or 30,000 first week when his first album I thought was brilliant. But the reality is, when you talk about music, is that
I'm gonna tell you.
let me just say this. when you talk about music, the first album usually represents about 5 years of work. This is, gearing up to your first major label debut. You've been working on this every day for years and years and years. And finally, you're taking all the best parts of everything you've done over the last 5, 6, 7 years, and you put it all together. And everyone's like, oh, this is great. And the label's like, oh, yeah, do another one, a year later. 1 year later, that means that 9 months later, you got to be totally done with what took you 6 or 7 years to do before.
I agree. That can most definitely play into it. I also think people not understanding the times we're in. We're in like whole different times, man. Like people attention span is like.
Well, right. Because when you and I were growing up, we had to save up our money, and go down to Tower Records and buy that album that's dropping on Tuesday and spend $15. And you hope that the rest of the album is good because you've only heard one song on the radio.
Heard one song.
Right, one song off that whole thing.
You don't even know the track list.
You're praying that the other 13 songs are decent.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you drive around with it or you listen to it at home and you open up the paper and you're reading the track listing and the producers and the liner notes.
Even the booklet.
You don't have... I didn't grow up like poor, but like my parents still, like didn't have a lot of money. So it was like, I could afford maybe one album a week. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like I'm going to buy 5 other albums. If this first one was whack, you got to make it work. You got to listen to it and try to like some of the songs that maybe initially. Now it's like,
next,
I got my Spotify.
One click of a button. Next,
30 million songs. So it's just, if I don't like it in the first 2 seconds, fuck this whole artist and this whole album for life, and I'm going to go on to something else. And let's see what Spotify sends my way based on the algorithm of what it thinks that I want to listen to.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's totally, there's no liner notes. There's no physical copy of it.
Yeah.
You don't listen
robotic.
to, you don't really spend a lot of time with one project because there's so many other projects that are dropping within the next couple of days that you probably want to check out as well, which kind of pulls you in. And it's all free because you've already spent your $5 that month. It's a different experience.
It's most definitely. But I just think like, in regards to, let's say via Cole, via Jay-Z, or via, any of those 3 bigger artists, I think where they maintain the level that they are is because they can take the time to say, hey, I want to make quality music. And when it's like, all right, I'm eating chips. Oh shit, a steak. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta prepare for this. Right. And I think that's why I hit. But a lot of people today, they not really artists. Like I feel like Jay is an artist. I feel like Kanye is an artist. I feel like Cole. I was in the studio with Cole for 20 some hours watching him like really like he's very tedious. Like, yo, I don't like that snare. I don't like the end of that snare. I don't like the reverb on that shit. Like take that, like he's tedious, very tedious. Those are artists. Those are real musicians. Like, right? The rest of these people are fans. A lot of these people are fans. They're like, oh, I could do that. Let me try it.
So I'll give you an example of this. Project Pat. His brother is Juicy J. Project Pat, in our interview, said, I had 0 interest in rap. I was a criminal. I was out robbing people, involved in kidnappings and carrying guns and everything else like that. And this one time when he went to jail, 3 6 Mafia started to blow up. And his brother was like, yo, man, come, we already got a bunch of members. Why don't you come on and do a little something? He's like, shit, I could do this and not go to jail? Okay. I guess I'm a rapper now.
Yeah.
And look how well he's done with that. He's on Drake's new album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has hit songs. Like you know what I'm saying?
Maximum.
People love this guy.
She's a two-way freak. He got records.
J. Cole, you talk about J. Cole, don't save her, she don't want to be saved.
Yeah.
That's a Project Pat song.
I already know. Yeah.
That's Project Pat's song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he to this day says he's not really a rapper. He just hustles and he had the opportunity.
But even in that aspect of him not really being a rapper, I could still tell that he had a different level of creativity. Like he still wasn't the normal. Like he didn't get in there and say, I'm gonna just do what everybody else is doing. He actually created a lane for himself. Like actually Project Pat stands out a lot.
He does.
From the group.
He does.
So he didn't get in the group and say, I'm gonna just tear the club up with everybody else. He started making his own little wave inside that group. Right. So he was still an individual by himself. But I'm saying in today's time, you could literally get on Spotify and listen to at least 5,000 people that sound exactly the same. Same auto-tune pitch, same chords being played, same everything. Literally identical. So it's copy and paste, bro. Like we in the NBA 2K My Park era. Niggas like, yo, I'ma just like, you know, the two little kids that just popped up. I don't even want to say their names, but like they look like builder rappers.
They really do.
They look like somebody got mad VC points and just bought whatever it took to be a rapper. Like,
yeah, they actually reach out for an interview, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, you get what I'm like. Where did they come from? Like, they just popped up.
I just said I'm
yo,
good.
the sim, bro. I'm telling you, the simulation, wild, bro. And two of them, not just one, two.
No, right?
Like double. Like, yeah, it's wild, bro. So what I'm saying is like that's what's happening now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this is what it looks like to be one of those type of rappers. Just get mad tattoos, just get colorful hair, random dreads, and just get on the song and say anything, and you're in.
You're in.
Yeah, that's,
you know,
but you'll be out. You'll be right out too. Like you're in, you'll be right out immediately too.
Oh yeah. Or just, you know, me and Boosie did an interview the other day, and it's like, you know, we were talking about the French Montana, you know, statement where he said it's harder to make it in rap than the NBA, which we both disagreed with.
Yeah.
Because you could be a pretty successful rapper and not really be that good. Whereas that doesn't work in the NBA.
Not at all.
You can't be a mediocre NBA player. You won't get into the draft. There's only, 50 or 60 people every draft from around the world, from every country. Like, you know, they'll find some guy in Zimbabwe who's 7 feet tall, who's, you know, they train him up from 13 years old to like, you know, be ready for the draft. Like in rap, you could be kind of,
you can land a lucky shot. You could be horrible and land a lucky moment.
Keep running with that shot, you know. Or if you just are consistently putting stuff out over and over again every day, you'll keep building up a fan base and you'll start to get better. But you still won't be great at the end of the day. But you could still do it. Whereas like, you know, it doesn't necessarily take a lot of skills these days because you could put out independent stuff so easily now. You don't need the label to say, okay, we're going to co-sign this. We're going to put $100,000 into this.
I think one of the major problems in doing music right now is telling yourself, do you want to be successful via financially or do you want fame? You could be completely successful without touching any major site from music.
There's a reason why I stay behind the camera. Because I don't want the fame.
You get what I'm saying?
I specifically don't want it. Yeah. I like just going to the grocery store and just going up and down the aisles and picking shit without people constantly walking up to me and asking for pictures. And or worse, or people trying to like approach me over some comment I made in an interview.
Yeah, it's
you know?
A lot of people understand like there's a gift and a curse with that too.
100%. I knew it from day one.
As an up and coming artist, I used to tell myself like, you want fame. I can't wait till I'm lit and everybody cheering for me. But when you get it, you actually want to get away from it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, Kendrick can't go to the mall.
What?
Kendrick Lamar cannot go to the mall.
Ever.
It'll shut down any mall pretty much in the world.
You know what I felt sorry for? And I still feel sorry for him to this day, Eminem.
Why is that?
He can't take a shit without somebody standing by it.
Yeah. Outside his house.
Like, that's crazy. Like, you know, and I tell another story too. Like even when we went to see Cole, we went to visit Cole, and like, you know, we pulled up, and, you know, we called the Uber, called like, hey yo, tell the Uber park like way up the block. Like, so we parked like maybe like 10 houses down and then walked all the way up. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want to live like that. No disrespect to anyone, but I don't want to live like that, man. I enjoy freedom. I think, and as I get bigger, I think I'm fucking with the like celebrity algorithm, because I be just doing random shit that I ain't supposed to do, and it be fucking shit up. I hit a random store, random market, motherfuckers just everywhere.
The face tattoo doesn't exactly
Yeah,
help.
I can't hide. I can't hide at all.
I can't, with your face tatted up, people are already gonna think something is different about you. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is.
No, it's just wild like that. That it's a gift and a curse. It's like the double-edged sword. Like, like you want it, it comes, and then you like, oh shit. Hey, cause when you up and coming artists, you be like, okay, if I go out one night, it's gonna be mad cameras. It ain't gonna be like that every day. No, it's like that every day. You step out the house, and you just like this.
So I try to, that's what I've tried to avoid all these years. And I've been relatively successful at it. I mean, people still approach me. Yeah. People know my voice more than my face. 100%. So it's like I'll be talking to someone, they'll be like, hey, why do you sound familiar? Like, why do I know your voice? And it's like,
yeah, most definitely. But no, I ain't gonna lie like that. I've been telling myself as I grow in status, is there a hack? Is there a hack to get bigger but not be that?
Yeah, you stop showing your face. It could be like the original Ghostface Killer.
I should get Bradley permanently, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you go out as Bradley all the time, people probably maybe the opposite. Who knows?
For real. But that's just crazy though. But shouts out to every artist that maintain that, because that's a different level of mental strength that you have to like obtain to just maneuver like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, but to be fair, you can't really paint it as a negative thing, because usually when you get to that level, you have millions of dollars to go along with it. Yeah. You're living in a mansion. You get to fly first class or even private.
Like even like with flying, like I've gotten to, like over the last maybe 4 years, like in my mind, I'm still the same Daylyt, but like perception has changed. So like, now when I'm flying and I'm like just walking through the regular TSA and it's a big thing now, it's like commotion. I'm like, yo, I'm like stuck because I don't really got enough money to get my private yet. But like, I can't keep doing this. It's getting kind of hectic to fly regular, bro.
Listen, I remember we stopped by Kendrick's All Right video shoot. Mm-hmm. It was being filmed on, I think, Treasure Island in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And there was sort of like, there was an area where they were filming, and then maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 feet away was the trailer where Kendrick and whoever else was. And I remember there was they had like, like the Escalade. Mm-hmm. And I remember Kendrick got out of the trailer, went in the Escalade, and the Escalade drove like 40 feet to like where the shoot was. They open the door, he gets out of the Escalade and goes and films. And I'm like, this is like this is like a 1 minute walk. Like what you're doing. But at the point where Kendrick is, it's like that one could have been associated with some nonsense or something.
That 1 minute walk could be like a whole day if too many people get right there in that one spot. You got to think, when you get to that level, you dealing with a snap of the finger zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Like World War Z can happen at the snap of the fingers.
Oh yeah.
So I see.
R. Kelly has been locked up since our last interview and convicted. And you actually, and I thought you were trolling when you said this, because during this time you were heavy on the troll game, but you actually played basketball with R. Kelly. Yeah. And the story you said about how he had these guys that would play with him who would just
pass on the ball.
Just pass him. That's all they would do.
I don't know, man. I just know R. Kelly a weird dude, bro. I played basketball with bro one time. Santa Monica College. Gilbert Arenas was there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gilbert a vouch. R. Kelly had 5 people on the court with him, or 4 people, 4 extra players on the court, and one dude had on the backpack. Okay. I don't understand why he had on the backpack, but he was playing basketball full court with a backpack on. We played game to 15 points. Nobody else shot the ball on his team. He's the only one shot.
The backpack?
No, R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, okay.
There was a time where 4 people were on a fast break and R. Kelly was back court. They were by themselves. We were all still waiting. They like broke. They waited for R. Kelly. Passed him the ball, he shot a 3 and bricked. At that moment, I say he's a very controlling person. Something is very weird about the Pied Piper. P. Piper.
Well, you know.
Yeah, it was an actual true story. And now people, like, I'm not the only person that said it. Like, there's more people. I think, did you interview somebody else that vouched for it too? Or somebody else? Few poor people did interviews that came out and was like, yeah, he plays with 5 people that never shoot.
They just pass it back to him every time.
No matter what.
Yeah, man, I think it's very dangerous to create this world around yourself that functions completely off your rules, that, you know, no one else understands these. You know what I mean? No one else goes along with these rules except for you.
You know what's so crazy about R. Kelly? Like, with all the shit that he's done and he's gone to jail, like, his music's so crazy. It's like, y'all can have R. Kelly. We gonna keep the music, though. Like, the streets is most definitely gonna keep the music. 100%. He made good music, man.
He makes great music.
Beyond
I mean,
great.
in fact, Boosie feels that nobody could beat him in a versus.
Nobody.
In terms of any living person right now, you'd have to go and dig people up like a Michael Jackson or a Prince in order to give him like a real run for his money.
Cooked. Everybody's cooked. Nobody could beat that man. Everybody's cooked.
Maybe Jay-Z.
Nah.
And they had albums together, remember?
Yeah, nah. R. Kelly got way too much. He got way too many hits. Way too many.
He got hits.
Way too
timeless much. Hits.
Way too
like, and let's not talk about the hits he did for other people, like Michael Jackson.
That's what I'm saying.
B2K.
He got way too many. It's too many.
Kelly
so,
Price.
Like I said, it sucks. It's a gift and a curse. A man with such talent also lives on the wrong end of the spectrum. So,
yeah, I mean, imagine being in prison and you've been winning the talent show every year, and then R. Kelly shows up.
Who's next? And what am I?
You're like, God damn it.
All right, guys, I'm out. But no, yeah, man, like I said, I can only pray for people. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I've learned, like just having a gripe with certain situations, you just got to let it go. It's up to the universe now.
Yep. Snoop now owns Death Row Records.
That's dope.
He doesn't own the back catalog, from what I understand.
But he owns what's moving forward.
Which I think is so dope.
I would love for Snoop to sign a new roster and do right. Like the stuff that they went through at Death Row, like he can be what he wanted instead of not saying he didn't get what he want, but we heard the stories behind the scenes, like she was crazy.
Yeah.
But he can make a difference. He can most definitely make a difference. Now, Snoop, hear me out. Don't sign in them old niggas, dog. Let it go. All them niggas that been waiting to get their shot, all the home, let it go, dog. Let it go, man. Let it go. Find some new, young, dope talent. You know what I mean? Some very dope MCs and run it. But all that old let it go. Let it go.
I don't even want to say any names because I actually know a lot of the guys, like, personally.
Man, let it
know
go.
What I'm saying?
Niggas like, yeah, we got it. We on now, cuz. Let it go, Snoop.
Right. No, I feel you. I feel you. And I think it's so dope with Snoop that, I mean, he was at the Super Bowl halftime show throwing up the C, the Crip sign.
Snoop is Snoop, dog.
You know what I mean?
Man, I'm going to be no matter what.
You know, he still flies that Crip flag. He never changed, never switched up, never sold out, never created a version of himself that other people would be more comfortable with. Yeah. And yet he's constantly doing hot shit. You know what I mean? May not be the top of the music game at this point, but overall as a celebrity, I mean, you're talking about one of the most famous people on the planet. Yeah. I mean, who's really like, if you take a Snoop in terms of overall popularity,
I don't think it's a person on earth that don't know Snoop Doggy Dogg.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's up there with like
older whites, younger kids,
like a Tyson, Snoop, Tyson.
Snoop you know, like in regards to like him owning Death Row, like I think that's extremely dope. Extremely dope. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I just hope that he does the right thing with a brand that is known for being such notorious.
You know, Kodak Black. Mm-hmm. This was someone who kind of got hot after we did our last interview. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And continued to really rise. And, you know, as someone who is very much lyrical and very much focuses on a certain type of hip hop. When you look at someone like a Kodak, that a lot of his stuff doesn't even rhyme. You know, the lyrics are never really all that complex, but he has a lot of hits now under his belt. And he really, I think, has connected, you know, with the public a certain type of way where you got songs like Super Gremlin that like you don't think are gonna work. And yet
the thing is,
you know,
I look at Kodak in the aspect of how I look at myself sometimes. And I look at all the mumble rappers like that, via Uzi, via all of them.
would you say Kodak's a mumble rapper? I guess you could say
I
that.
wouldn't say mumble rapper, but they're doing this on purpose. I was a fan of Kodak before the dreads. When he was like maybe like 14 or 15.
Really? You knew about him?
I knew about him.
Okay.
I had people in Florida and shit. I knew about him early. And he was most definitely on the lyrical end of Southern style rappers. Like, and a lot of his music had messages too, like super like I wouldn't say Black Lives Matter type messages, but it was more like bettering the community and shit. So I was on, even via Lil Uzi, like I've heard a lot of records from all of these people when they were like in their lyrical miracle bag. So I think like a lot of these people may say, hey, I'm gonna run a play, because you know the lyrical miracle shit clearly is algorithmically pushed there. So I'm gonna run this play, and if it worked, then it works. But all of them were rap. Kodak could really rap, like for real.
Yeah, I think
Uzi really
XXX Tentacion was the same way.
Yeah.
He started out super lyrical, boom bap, whatever,
Yeah.
and then figured out that's not really his lane, and this works.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, these guys are going down as
They
superstars.
they're locked in the books forever.
Yeah.
But that don't mean they can't rap. They actually all are very.
I agree. I mean, he got shot recently.
Yeah.
Outside the Justin
I
Bieber
heard
party.
about it. I didn't know if it was real or not.
It's real. Yeah, there's actual video of it.
I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, my algorithms are so positive, I don't see nothing violent at all. Like when I get online, I see flowers, dogs, bunnies. Like you go to your Instagram search bar, it's literally bunnies and like flowers. That, I swear, I'm so peaceful like right now. I promise you.
It's a great way to be, man. I wish I could just focus on that. Unfortunately, my job requires me to...
Johnny got killed! Headline.
You know, it requires me to go into some of the darker places of this world. And, you know,
yeah,
it is what it is. Unfortunately, you can't have a successful media company if you just focus on positive shit 100% of the time.
You can't, negativity sells, man. I understand that. Negativity sells. I'm a prime example of that, you know? Like, you know, we can take this interview in regards, like, I know right now I could say some outlandish shit right now and we out of here.
Yep.
But I'm gonna save that. It's gonna be a time for it. I'm just getting my feet warm.
That's what it is.
Getting my feet warm.
So what do you got coming up? I mean,
right,
Room Full of Mirrors album is out.
Like if you haven't seen the Room Full of Mirrors album,
check that out.
Go
Dope
check
album.
it out. A Room
Dope
Full
project.
of Mirrors. Once again, follow all of the artists via Lyric Michelle, Nick Grant, Jairus Law, Early Riser, Ichiban Don, Punch, Billy Marie. My guy 7 Views, which is the camera, the main photographer, like Coach Fame, like we all in this together. Like even though it's people that are not artists, like it's a whole team behind everything. My guy Horns, Robert Horns, everybody's in. But if you haven't, for the people that's listening, I know I'm looking at Vlad. I don't want to look at the camera and fuck up the interview. You know, they tell you don't look directly in the
You
camera.
can look at the camera, go ahead.
Yes. So let me get my promo. So you feel me? Room Full of Mirrors out now. You know your boy doing a big thing. Feel? But no, but yeah, that's out. And you know, and other than that, it's just all solo project stuff
Right.
now.
And you have a solo album that's completed.
It's completed.
Just
yeah.
not out yet.
It's not out yet. It's completed. So, you know, in regards to understanding Punch and his biblical way of moving through earth, he most definitely understand portals inside, like shoot now. You know what I mean? Like shoot now. So we just waiting for the perfect storm.
That's what it is, man. Daylyt, always a pleasure, man. You and I go back a lot. We go back many, many years, and we've always been cool on a professional and a personal level.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? People think that, you know, just because you don't see someone on Vlad TV that there's some sort of beef or problem. But no, sometimes it's just a timing thing. People are working on certain things and they want certain types of looks at a certain time, you know, period of time. And that's why a lot of times you don't see certain people on here for a while.
Yeah.
But, you know, you and I have always been good. We've kept in touch.
Yeah.
All these times, man.
We were talking, we never stopped.
We never stopped talking.
Yeah,
We never stopped talking.
It's our conversation. Hey, when you ready? I'm like, oh, give me about a month. That month turned to too much, y'all. I'm almost cooking. I'm coming. Just wait. I'm gonna be over there. Just hold on. Let me make sure. But we always stay in contact, though.
And Punch, man, I know you're gonna listen to this, man. Bring some more TDE artists to Vlad TV, man.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, man, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. I think it's just the way that TDE brand. They don't want to brand, and like you said, you don't see negativity around their brand.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like there's certain stigmatisms and negative things that come with being here.
Mm-hmm.
Via the following is kind of looking for something to wiggle with.
Sure.
So I think in the form of just branding the artist or branding the entire brand, it's just kind of best to, like, you know.
Yeah, but to be fair, a lot of that could be worked out ahead of time. So, for example, before you and I sat down,
it's conversation. Like at the end of the day,
it's a conversation.
We have whole historical wars based on non-conversation.
Exactly.
So
there are certain things that you and I said ahead of time. You said, "Hey, I don't want to talk about, XYZ. There's one particular subject that we agreed that we're not going to touch on, and we never touched on it.
Yeah.
So to the TDEs, the world, or the other labels that are listening, like, if you're scared to bring an artist on Vlad TV because you think I'm just going to wild out and ask the craziest fucking question.
Tired of you motherfucking artists ain't coming to Red. Come to Vlad TV.
Come to Vlad TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come holler at me and have a conversation with me beforehand.
Yeah.
As an adult.
I'm gonna tell you, man, everything is timing. Everything is timing.
Yeah.
And everything serves its purpose. I'm not saying people not gonna come. I'm not saying people are gonna come, but everything is timing. We might be at an event somewhere, something might happen, you might run into the right person, and the conversation might just work.
There you go.
It's all timing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Daylyt, man. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yep.